right.
Can we do
Slate
can we
us.
do a live 40th
Yeah,
birthday
sure,
episode?
sure. I'll be getting steadily drunk throughout the whole thing, so I warn you now. There's going to be me downing a bottle of vodka while you talk about EastEnders and I sit and sob in the corner. That's what it's going to be.
Greetings, EastEnders fans. Welcome to this week's Albert Square After Dark, your weekly EastEnders podcast, where this week we'll be discussing the episodes that aired between the 20th to the 23rd of October, 2025. How are you all? Hope you didn't miss us too much last week. Sorry about that. Join me today, though, whose birthday is tomorrow. To throw that one in is Rob. Hello, Rob. You all
I'm
right?
so old. Hello, how are you? Hello,
I
everybody.
didn't
Missed you
say that.
lots.
I didn't say
Oh,
you were old. Notice.
not today. Maybe every other day you
Mm.
say it to me. Every other week I get this.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's the age gap between me and you? Is it 4 years?
What? No, it'll be 3 years
Three
tomorrow.
years. 3 years. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I am 2 years away from a really, 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 really scary age. I can see.
23 in two
Yeah,
years.
yeah. I can see the mental breakdown just on the horizon. You know, like you
Hmm.
can see mountains and there's a silhouette on the
Yeah,
horizon. I can
yeah.
see the word breakdown coming towards me as the big
Look,
birthday
I
approaches in a
hate
couple
to
of
say
years.
this, Rob, but I totally agree, and I totally
Mm,
think that's exactly what's going to happen here.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe next year,
I
because
know.
you'll be like, oh
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
next year,
yeah. I
that
know
age.
you're gonna have to be a very, very good friend to me for for the next couple of years. That's all I can say. No pressure.
What you mean? Already have been.
A better
Already have
friend.
been. Anyway,
Hello.
Wales was
Um,
great. I do
good. Did you have a nice
apologise for not
time?
being here. Yes, I did. Thank you. It was lovely.
Good.
I've never been to Wales. So really
Wales,
nice.
yeah. Cracking, was it?
South Wales. Oh my God, I never knew they had such nice beaches in the UK. Are you
Mm,
joking?
I know.
Tenby. You ever looking for somewhere to go? Tenby. Fabulous
Tenby.
place. Yeah, Tenby.
Marvellous, yeah.
Tenby. Tenby.
There's
Tenby.
more there's more beaches in the UK than Skeg, Ree. We don't do bad for beaches in the UK.
I haven't been to Skeggy since a very long time ago, about 20 years ago, I'll have you
You're not
know.
missing much, trust me.
Nah, no, I'm
You're really
sure.
not. I'm not that far from Skeg, and trust me, it's
Oh, true.
there's better beaches, I would say. There's much better
Yeah.
beaches. But yes, we weren't here last week. Now, fortunately, the way that the show has worked the past couple of weeks, we can sort of discuss stuff that happened last week with some of the storylines that we're going to discuss this week. So that's kind of helpful. So really, the only one that we really need to sort of
Hmm.
kind of cover was the aftermath of what went on with Joel,
Yes, that's right.
and he is fully. And I was expecting Ross to do something stupid, like say to Vicky, "Look, can we drop the charges here? I love you, you love me, so can we do something like that?" And he didn't do
I
that, and I'm
yeah,
really, really pleased.
I actually thought you were going to take the rap for Joel or something. Like if
Oh yeah,
Vicky
I
said
beat
she
her
couldn't
up.
remember or
Yeah,
something, I thought
yeah,
you were going to take the rap for him. I was actually so surprised when he handed him in and the
yeah.
evidence. Yeah, like stunned at that.
But he stood by it. You know, he
Hmm.
was the one that handed in the evidence in. Joel is especially this is the thing, especially when he saw Joel saying that he was dead to him. I was like, that's it. That's going to convince Ross to do something insanely stupid here and try and get him out of jail. But at the minute, he seems to just be kind of
Yeah.
facing the consequences of it.
Well, he's got other like Ross himself is facing the consequences of Joel's
Mm,
actions as well. Well, he was last week, wasn't he?
yeah,
How did you
yeah.
feel about that then? Did you think it was
Interesting. Actually,
justified?
well, what I would say is that if we were here last week, Ross would have got my gold star last week.
Yeah, interesting. Do you know what? I was torn between would it have been Ross or actually Harvey for helping him out because
Well, let's throw it into the official almanac. Ross and Harvey got our gold stars for
yeah,
last
all
week,
right
so
then,
there we
yeah.
go. Throw
There
that
we go.
add that onto the chart. But I thought it was really interesting and actually, quite a natural way I think for a community to react to something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed Ross's little speech in the square. I thought that was quite well
Mm.
done.
Yeah, very well done.
It was definitely Ross's best week since he's arrived, I would say.
Yeah. Did
And
you sorry, I'm
well,
gonna say, did you feel sorry for Ross?
yeah, I
Because
did.
I really did, and before last week, I was very like Ross should have been doing way more, and I was
But
very
then
much on that
that's exactly
opinion.
what everybody in the square was saying to him last week, wasn't it?
Hmm.
And I mean, for a start, you could look at the hypocrisy that is every single parent on that
Yeah.
square, from a kid that's like every single one of them would be in Ross's position. Not one of them would have stepped forward and done what they needed to do, especially from the likes of Ian. And I'm glad that he had the Lucy stuff thrown in his face and the Bobby stuff thrown in his face when he was sat there like saying, "Oh, you should have done so much more. You're the one that let this happen."
Mhm.
It's sort of like, hang on a minute, sunshine. You know?
It gave him that perspective when Harvey said it to him,
Yeah,
didn't it, about Bobby? But having
yeah,
said that, Bobby was a lot younger. But also, Joel's not that old, actually. Joel's been 15,
yeah.
so
You know,
yeah.
how much maturity are you putting on a 15-year-old?
But the Harvey and Ross parallels are so interesting
They
because
are.
it's like with Harvey, like you sure that he probably had said the odd thing to Aaron, not
Yeah,
meaning it as extreme as Aaron then proceeded to take things.
yeah.
And I think we've seen a little bit of that with Ross, haven't we? Where he's like, "Oh,
Mm.
you need to man up now," but then obviously Joel takes that as,
Yeah.
"Yeah, oh yeah, my dad
Oh, it
gets it, yeah, yeah."
takes that to extreme. But then, in a way, they're actually really similar stories: the Aaron stuff
Yeah,
and the Harvey stuff and the
very.
Ross and Joel stuff. Because
Agreed.
effectively, it's about what the young person is
Mhm.
sort of the environment they're growing up in, what they're absorbing from the older parent. And the thing is, we know that Ross has worked on a building site, so you can imagine that the odd bit of sort of microaggressive sexism has kind of popped into conversation that Joel will have
Yeah,
overheard.
especially
Nothing.
from years ago as
Yeah,
well. Even I
yeah.
don't know how PC they are these days on building
I can't say
sites and
out. Can't say
such.
out these days, really. You can't even wolf whistle at a woman as she's
Can't say
passing
how.
these days. I know.
Unless
Um,
it's Sharon, she won't mind.
oh, Sharon loves that. Yeah, absolutely. And so do I would say. I don't mind being wolf whistled at as I pass a building site. I won't lie to you. Um, but I think it's yeah, I thought it was fascinating, sort of the coupling of Ross and Harvey, and
Mhm.
now that Harvey is taken because Harvey knows exactly what this feels like because Harvey had this after the Aaron storyline, so he knows what it's like to sort of be
Mhm.
sent to Coventry with this sort of thing, doesn't he?
And he was the one who shopped Aaron in eventually as well,
Exactly.
weren't
So it
he?
is
Yeah.
effectively the same story in a way.
Mhm.
So you can totally understand why these two would sort of gravitate towards one another.
Mm.
The idea of taking Ross into the Beals' house, Vicky does not currently know about this. Kathy is the only one that's aware. Sharon, who's only just got back from holiday, has gone on holiday again.
Yeah, I thought that. Well, why not? It's
Why
Sharon.
not?
She can do it,
She can
can't
do
she?
what she likes. She can do what she likes. So the interesting thing will be the reaction when they come back.
Well, I'm quite surprised at how much Vicky's turned on Ross. Though I'm gonna say it because Vicky's also covered up a lot of Joel's stuff, and I'm not saying that she's guilty either.
Mm,
I don't know, but then at the same time, Ross could have potentially done more. But then let's not forget that Vicky's helped him paying off. Mind you,
yeah.
she didn't know about the Australia thing until afterwards, in fairness. But she paid that lady off on the tube.
Yeah, this is the
So is
thing.
there a
I
little bit of
arguably Yeah, I
hypocrisy?
think so. I mean, arguably, paying somebody off who was, especially paying a victim of a sexual
Hmm.
assault off,
Yeah.
I actually would argue is worse than anything Ross did.
Oh, controversial.
Is it not?
I think the issue is that Ross didn't do anything really, isn't it? So
Mm.
yeah, in a way.
But Vicky actively tried to
I mean,
make the consequences go
mhm.
away. Ross never did that. He just sort of put his fingers in his ears and went la 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 la. But Vicky actively tried to remove Joel from consequence.
Could you argue that when Vicky did that though, it was a bit ago, and she wasn't aware of how extreme he were getting, and she. Although
I,
still though, it was sexual
yeah,
assault,
it
and
was
he knew
already
it were
quite
intention.
extreme.
It were intentional,
Yeah,
weren't it?
it was
Let's be
already quite
honest. Yeah.
extreme. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not
I think
saying.
Ross and Vicky will get back together though. I think
Oh, I
once
think
she's had a
so.
break, I kind of hope so in a way. I don't know. We're probably saying quite controversial things because I think a lot of people did agree with how the square were
Oh
treating
no, I
Ross.
think that we would act like that. I think any sort of community would act like that
Hmm.
towards Ross. But I feel like especially under the microscope of the soap, you can point out different hypocrisies of different families in that
Hmm.
sort of environment. But it's really really interesting, I
Hmm.
think, and I'm sort of interested to sort of see where the Joel aspect goes. We know Joel is leaving soon. Because he was
Spoiler.
well, I mean, a character like that's got a shelf life, so he
Yeah,
was always going to be leaving
definitely.
quite soon. But this does appear to sort of be the climax because we were sort of wondering whether this was going to go on and on for a bit longer.
Mm,
But I feel like we've reached the peak of the story now,
definitely.
so it's just about now where exactly the consequences take him. So, do you think prison, or do you think something else horrible is going to happen before the end?
No, I think it's prison now. That's it. Well,
Okay.
they found out as well about apparently he uploaded that video of him and Ivani.
Yeah,
online, didn't he? And is he going to get
yes.
into more trouble for that? Because she was
Well,
underage
I mean, for a start
at the
off,
time.
they've already seen the video of him beating Vicky up because he was an
Yeah.
idiot. They
hmm
broke in, and Ross kind of accessed his laptop, and that's how he sort of handed the
hmm
evidence over to the police. I quite liked the interview process. That was great. That sort of setup with like Joel and the cameras. I mean, I don't know how
Yeah.
many cameras they actually have in a police interrogation room.
No.
Perhaps not that many, especially from all the different angles,
All the different
just all
angles.
the dramatic effect angles that they had going on there. But it was quite an effective sort of scene. And at that point, Joel was sort of confronted with the video that he'd recorded, and then he knew the game was up at that point.
Mm.
So I feel like he is going to go to prison, but we've now got. I'm assuming we've got a court case to come, yeah, and then maybe a few
Yeah,
little
you'd
extra
think.
twists and turns
And
might
how
happen
many
there.
charges are there going to be in all of this then,
Well, I mean,
Obviously,
if they've got his
the sexual
laptop,
assault's gone.
yeah, but you've got the Ivani stuff, which is, I
Yeah,
mean, arguably
which
you could
is a
sort of
huge one,
revenge, yeah,
surely.
yeah, like revenge
Yeah.
porn at the very
hmm
least, and then obviously you've
hmm
got a video of him literally assaulting a woman on the floor, and
hmm
then they go through his history. I'm sure he hasn't hidden stuff away that well, even though we've
Maybe hate crimes
hate
on there.
crimes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's going away for a very, very long time.
hmm
The consequence of this will be that in about 10 years' time, both Aaron and Joel will come back together as best mates on the square. That'd be fun,
And
wouldn't it?
seeking revenge on the fathers
Yeah,
that did him
yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
That'd be fun,
I'd be
wouldn't
here
it?
for that. Yeah.
There we go then. Give it a decade, we'll be there. Whether we'll still be here doing this, I'm sure we will in 10 years' time. Why the
Of
hell
course we
not?
will. Yeah.
Graying. I'll be whinging about the fact that I'm nearly 50. So there we go. So we did ask you to send us a few comments from your thoughts on last week's episode. Laura Kay said, though still hard to watch, I really enjoyed everything to do with the Joel storyline. I especially appreciate Harvey and Ian eventually coming together to help Ross. I think this also goes right along with the masculinity issues being explored, in that many modern societies expect men to be strong leaders all the time and figure things out on their own. Women are allowed to have communities for support, but it's sometimes perceived differently for men. Perhaps if more men felt like they could put eggs aside and look out for each other, we'd have fewer Joels.
Egos aside. Yeah.
Egos, eggs. Put eggs aside, everybody. Yeah, egos aside. And look out for each other, we'd have fewer Joels. So that's an interesting point. Yeah, the Joel
Yeah.
stuff I
Fair.
think has been a very big highlight of the past few months. So I'm
Mm.
almost sorry to see it go.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's interesting, isn't it? Because some storylines feel like they've gone on for too long,
Mm.
and this one I feel like I could watch
I
another
can watch
six
more.
months worth.
Yeah,
To be
quite
fair,
happily. Yeah, because it
yeah,
it goes on for that long in real life, doesn't it? Yeah.
yeah, and the pacing of it all has been great. Was great as well with it
Mm.
all. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got a comment here from Virginia Williamson who says, how does everyone feel about the stunt that Lexi pulled? I don't condone what she did. However, I do feel that Callum and Johnny should have been more discreet. She should have been mentally prepared for her parents divorcing. I would have introduced Johnny much, much later. That's too much for a young lady to handle. It's understandable why she would be angry and blame Johnny. That's
I
regarding the
mean,
text message that she sent, the email that
yeah,
she sent out. Yeah.
I mean that was to be fair, considering what she wanted to do. She quick thinking, I would say, from little Lex. We met Lexi Mitchell this week, didn't we?
Yes,
She's
definitely. She's a
yeah,
Mitchell, all right.
she's a Mitchell, all
Did
right.
you know as soon as she said, I want dessert, give me a phone, we were like,
Yeah,
what's she going to
something bad's
do?
going to happen here. Yeah,
Come on,
I
Johnny.
didn't think that she was going to message everybody in his company. Um,
True.
fair play. What do I think of this? I mean, it's just I mean, we'll talk about the Johnny and Lexi stuff when we get to it later. I do think it was insanely stupid of Johnny to do what he did by just sort of
Yeah.
revealing everything there and then. Because at least give
hmm
Callum a minute with her to sort of suggest stuff rather than just dropping everything on her at that moment. Because she's hardly going to react. Oh, right, fair. All right, yeah, no,
hmm
fair enough. Right, should we have some
It
dinner then?
weren't. It
That was
weren't
never going to
Johnny's
happen.
place. I know that
No.
she asked it quite directly, and it was quite obvious that she'd figured it out.
Yeah.
But Johnny shouldn't have intervened. It were up to Callum. He could have
Yeah.
said,
It's Callum's fault more than anything else, I
Callum
think,
could
at
have
that
said, look,
stage.
Johnny, could you just give us a minute? We need to have a chat now.
Yeah.
And that would
Yeah.
have been his cue. And then Johnny
Yeah.
could have left and let it be handled in that way. Again, it's one of those though. Having said that, Callum could have probably said to Johnny, like, look, can you just stay away from the flat just for these few days
Yeah.
whilst I like prepare to tell Lexi about some of the things that's been going on. But then Johnny, you told her as well, like, oh, your dad's fine with it, Ben's okay, and she's like, you spoke to
Yeah.
my dad, what's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So literally everything that they'd sort of been trying to work out how to
yeah,
delicately approach towards Lexi,
yeah.
Johnny was like, blah, 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 blah. And then it just all went horribly wrong
But
from
then
there.
But then what's remarkable about all of this with Callum and Johnny, all these things that Johnny keeps doing and Callum's like, it's fine, don't worry about it. Yeah, it weren't best thing, but don't worry about it. It's like, really? Would you react like that?
I mean,
Hmm.
Johnny doesn't. I mean, Johnny is kind of screwed at the moment. He screws himself completely over the past couple of weeks. He's now lost his job, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Hmm.
And he's basically trying to sort of make his life better, but he's trying to build something with really weak bricks, I think, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah, fair, yeah.
So
Hmm.
it's sort of like he's desperately trying to sort of settle everything, and it's one of those things that's just going to take a while to settle. Like effectively, he has walked into this relationship that was a family setup, there was a
Hmm.
marriage involved, and he's trying, I think, to sort of sweep everything under the carpet quite quickly in a hope that everything sort of still stays the same, and that's never ever going to happen, especially when you're dealing with a teenager who has already lost her mother and her dad is in
Yeah,
prison. It wasn't
yeah.
ever going to be an easy solution. The
And it's
whole
Lexi as well.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
one of those situations. Some situations you tear a plaster off quickly and it's the
Hmm.
best thing to do. This was not one of those situations.
Definitely not. No.
Finally, Daisy Lackin about the Joel storyline. I said predicting an adolescent style episode of Joel and a therapist, best storyline for a very long time. I'd love that. Just an episode where, because I don't think what we've really done is sort of really zoned in on Joel's sort of psychological
Mm.
makeup. It would be really interesting to sort of just see before the storyline finishes, just to have one, like you say, an adolescent style episode with
Mm.
Joel, just to sort of tie it all up together.
Even a two-hander, I'd be there for.
Oh,
That'd
I'd
be
be so there
maybe
for
a
that.
nice, yeah, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
That'd be maybe a nice way to
Max Murray could do it. Let's be real here.
100%.
Hundred
Yeah, I
percent.
agree.
He's
It would be
brilliant.
really good. I don't even care if they ripped it off for
No,
adolescents. It'd be
when they do it
totally
properly.
worth it.
Yeah, give it
Yeah,
to Lauren Clee. She'd be fine with it.
yeah,
She'd be great.
sold.
Yeah, I do want to sort of meet this mother. I feel like is she?
Yeah,
Does she? Surely she's going to like make an appearance before the end of this storyline. Surely
surely.
the famous
Do you
Cleo.
know what? There must be more to all of this because I don't understand why she's just disappeared and
Yeah,
not had any contact or anything at
like is
all.
she the sort of
There's
mother
more
that?
to it all.
Yeah, there must be because surely if Ross rings her up and goes, "This is happening," and he's about to go to prison, she would be like, "Okay, I'll
Yeah.
drop everything and come and just at least speak to my son before he disappears for 6 years."
Or
So
even if Ross hasn't directly told her, she would see it on social media if they're in
yeah,
touch enough that they've seen that she were engaged through
you'd
social
think,
media.
you'd
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. So there we go. That was last week's stuff. Like I said, a lot of it sort of kind of bleeds into this week, so we can sort of discuss things as we go along. As for this week, I think it's been a week of peaks and troughs this week. The Nigel stuff was nice. There was some decent
Hmm.
stuff with the Nigel stuff.
Yeah,
Slightly contentious stuff, but there was some decent stuff. And then on the
yeah.
other side of the coin, you've got the Harry storyline, which I think needs to end very soon,
Yeah, I
please.
think should have
Like
probably
last
ended a
week.
few weeks ago.
I
Do you
just
know
don't.
what
I don't
though?
get what the end game is with it.
I don't even. Do you know what? I don't even oppose the him being locked in a room. It's just not been done right,
Well,
and should have been done sooner if they were going to go down this route. I feel, but yeah, there's
let's
lots of
talk about
things.
it. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the Harry storyline first.
Okay.
In this week's Albert Square After Dark. Right, let's talk about this week. We will discuss the Oki and Harry and Ravi and all, and the. So Ravi has gone away. Last week, Ravi went away.
Yes.
The
Uh-huh.
Galatis are on a holiday somewhere, and
Yeah.
Ravi has
Fair.
incredibly unwisely, I think, left Oki in charge of stuff.
Yeah.
Now,
But he told him to release Harry straight away.
yeah,
That was the first instruction he gave
yeah.
him. Harry's learnt his lesson. Release him.
Yeah,
Come on.
actually,
Do you even know it? Okay.
the only real instruction that he gave him was right, just let him go because that's causing drama.
Yeah.
So just let him
Yeah.
go, and then we'll deal with stuff when I get back.
Yeah.
No, Oki's not going to do that. Oki is in fact going to hold Harry hostage, and whilst he's doing that, try and make a move on Gina. And what is going on with this storyline? Like, I understand that they are trying to build Oki up as this sort of villain, and I
Mhm.
understand that his actions would then mean that he would
Yeah.
try. Him and Harry hate each other. I get that.
Mm.
That's fine, but it's sort of like I don't like the Kojo side of things. I'm sort of like trying to understand the logic behind that because they sent him off to Wales. We have no idea what he was doing in Wales whatsoever. We got one scene this week of him sort of in Wales at what looked like a train station and some blonde woman behind him, and that implying that some sort of drug thing was going on. But what the hell else is he doing in the meantime?
I thought while he's been in Cardiff, also hilarious because I was in Cardiff at the same time.
Did you see him when
so
he was
good
like?
we didn't bump into
You
him.
didn't bump into
No.
each other, no.
He'd have been
Oh,
so
right.
unsuspecting,
He
on
would
his
have
little
done.
drug mules. Because I
Yeah,
think that's what he was doing in Wales, or was it? I don't even know. Or was he
Wales.
even
Yeah,
in Wales? Did he go
yeah,
once?
yeah.
Did he just go once for the car show legitimately so they could get that
Oh, what? And
picture?
then did you just leave him there? I don't. This is
And
what
then
I
has he
mean.
spent the entire time just carting drugs around like various locations. I think that's what we're supposed to think
I
because
think
he.
so.
That's how Erky then said to Harry, like, "Oh well, this is why I'm doing it. Don't you get it yet? He looks so unsuspecting. He's been perfect for us to use to."
Yeah, he's
So I
been
think that's
absolutely
what they've been
great.
doing with
There's
him.
been no drama with Oki being used as this whatsoever, has there? It's gone perfectly
Kojo.
from start to yeah. There's been no problems with Kojo being
Yeah.
used as this from start to finish, has there? There's been
Mm.
no consequences, no drama. You haven't had Oki passing him drugs and making him take them, and then Kojo's gone wandering around the square off his tits on something. None of that's
Right.
happened.
But the thing is, as well with Kojo, like, don't get me wrong, I know this kind of cuckooing, which is what it's
Yeah,
called, happens in
yeah.
real life, but he's got quite a supportive family network, like
Mm,
George, and then like his brother, what's his brother, Kabina,
yeah,
who's real, like, who didn't get that phone call last week
yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
But then, having said that, it's not like any of them are actually looking for him. They're all just like, oh, he's in Cardiff with Harry having a right laugh.
Do you know what my
Mm,
biggest issue with this is the absence
yeah.
of Nicola, right? Nicola
Yes,
is
100%.
Nicola is away this week, and
Hmm.
literally they've given us no reason as to why Nicola's away because Teddy kind of threw one line out that said, "Oh,
Yeah.
God knows, I don't know where Nicola is." Yeah,
Mm.
trust me, neither do we. And it kind of feels that the only reason that she is away is because this wouldn't be happening if Nicola was
Yeah,
there.
100%. 100%, because she'd know, she'd straight away be sus.
Yeah.
But then why is Teddy not more sus himself? Because he actually does know what's been going on.
Well, yeah, and he does sort of work out that all is
Yeah,
not right. And to be
yeah,
fair, I did think it was quite clever with the whole sort of misspelling of Barney's name. I thought that was quite a clever way of looking
yeah,
of him sort of working it out.
yeah.
Um, but it's just like Oki is above his head, is getting in above his head now. We're
Hmm.
getting vibes off Oki that he's starting to realise that this might have been a mistake holding Harry hostage.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, like Ruffy, it's not like Ruffy's gone away like for months and months and months. Like he's gone on holiday for a bit. Like he's going to be
Mm,
back within the next couple of weeks. So what the
yeah.
hell is Oki thinking is going to be the plan when he gets back? Oh, I
Do you
tried to tell him
think,
to leave, but he wouldn't go. So I decided to just let him chain up there, and I've been giving him
but,
loads of
but,
drugs in the meantime.
well, this is the thing though, isn't it? He's been playing him with the drugs. And have you noticed, I feel like they've made a point of Erky being quite teetotal. Like when he went on that date with Gina, we were drinking a pint of water.
Oh, I didn't
So,
notice that. That's interesting. Yeah,
yeah,
and it's not
so
even like he does any of the drugs, does he? He pushes them
no.
onto everybody else that will go anywhere
Exactly.
near
So is
him.
there
But
something in that for some reason that
oh,
he's
interesting.
completely not on him, but he's just been pushing him on Harry like non-stop? Do you
Yeah,
think so? What I've been viewing it as now, as much as they hate each other, I think it's also a thing of jealousy with OK. He's
yeah,
described his family situation to Gina and how he didn't know his dad until he was 9 and then he passed away. And
yeah,
I just get the impression that he looks at Harry and thinks, you've got everything that I could
mm,
almost wish for in some
yeah.
in not in
Which
every element, but in a lot of
yeah,
ways.
which
Yeah.
is bizarre because if you actually look at Harry's family, they're not that something
Yeah,
that you
everything's
desperately want, really, is it?
yeah, exactly. So I feel like I don't I don't feel like it's even a punishment on the camera thing anymore. It's just all that he hates him. I feel like some of it is just irk his own feelings, about his situation that he's kind of pushing on Harry.
Well, I wonder if maybe this has happened to him. And this is maybe why,
Interesting.
because like you say,
Yeah, could be.
he's
Yeah,
been
yeah.
completely teetotal, so maybe he literally sees drugs as a punishment. So this is why he
Mm.
doesn't take it because this has been done to him before. I don't know, but it's just sort of like it's been going on for so long. This storyline now, it's
Yeah,
sort
and
of
I
like
don't.
it's going around in circles a little bit, and I'm sort of just like I don't get what the ultimate end game
Well,
is for this.
the other thing as well, like Teddy and George and Gina were all outside the flat. There's no way they did. There's no way that they went there that once and then didn't think to try and go in. You're telling me not
Yeah,
one person. We have literally seen so many people coming in and out of that flat ourselves. I were at Rest at Square not noticing it.
yeah,
They're playing really loud music,
yeah.
like when they're supposed to be away. Come on.
Exactly. And come on, the chances are, I bet that's flat absolutely stinks of weed as well.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
I
more
bet
than
it
likely.
does.
Although I don't feel like we've seen him smoking, but yeah,
No,
you
but
can
I
imagine,
bet it.
right?
I
Yeah,
imagine it's that sort of setup, right?
there'd be
Because it's
signs.
yeah,
Yeah,
because they seem to be sort of like we've got the kind of inclination that there's certainly doing like coke and stuff. Because I think somebody
yeah,
with this week we saw like I think some of the strange men that are there was like some racking up some lines or something on the
yeah,
table. So there are definitely people in there smoking weed, which
yeah.
is
You'd
like
think.
obviously a really pungent smell. So there's something that there would be
Which
clues that
for an
something.
empty flat, somebody
Yeah,
would notice as well.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
completely.
surely.
So there is stuff that shouldn't be happening in
Hmm.
that flat. And if so many people are worried about Kojo and if so many people are apparently worried about Harry,
Hmm.
like You're telling me that nobody has thought, should we just break into the flat and see exactly what's going on there? Let's not announce that we're going. Let's not say, has anybody got a key? Because we might want to go into the flat. Let's just go in there one night and see what's going on.
Yeah, and also when George was looking for Kurger, he just kind of took Erky's word about, oh, his phone died.
Yeah,
Harry, oh, I'll ring Harry for you. Oh, it's gone to voicemail and all of that. Like
yeah.
George wouldn't let that drop. He's been suspicious
No.
for so long about everything.
And the other thing was that when Oki brought Kojo back into the flat and took him straight into the room where he's caught
Yeah.
Harry, like, why would you do that? What's the point
I
of
don't
that?
know, and how does he trust that Kurjo's just going to stay in the flat and do what he's told as well?
Yeah,
Like, surely Kurjo can just get out when Erky's not there, or are they going to have these
yeah.
like bodyguards there all the time or
So what
something?
is he fully just expecting? Because of now, obviously, that we have got a slight change of direction now. That it seems that Kojo is sort of going to maybe be the hero of the story in some way
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he is pretending to take these pills that Oki keeps
yeah.
passing to him. So maybe that's kind of going to be where it starts to go from here.
Mm,
But at the same time, it's sort of like I don't get how Oki could be this stupid because actually nothing he is doing makes is remotely
no.
sort of clever to do whatsoever because there is no way that he isn't going to get caught. Nothing he's not covering his
But
tracks very
but
well.
who's he going to get caught by? Is that the thing? Like, he's not actually scared of who he's going to get caught by because they're all
Well,
implicated in this drug world anyway.
but this is what I mean. What's he going to do when Ravi gets back? Because Ravi explicitly said release Harry, and he has done. He's kept him hostage. He's tortured him effectively. He's pumped him full of drugs. Like what? In what universe is any of that a good idea?
But I agree, but I feel like Ravi would find out, just release if it was this way that Harry, escaped or whatever.
Yeah,
And then they'd just have a conversation and Ravi would be like, you're such an idiot, Erky. And Erky would be like, oh, it's fine, chill out. And Ravi
have
would
a
be like,
pill, Ravi.
don't
It's
do it
fine.
again. Yeah, like, I
Yeah.
feel like that's how it'd get. Because he's done these kind of things before and Ravi don't really do anything.
Well, what I'm wondering is this going to be the side where by the end of it, because I feel like Ravi's going to come back and sort of save the day with Harry, and is
You
that going to be
reckon?
the bit that sort of
His
tries to
redemption.
redeem Ravi? Yeah, exactly. Is that the thing that's going to try and redeem Ravi within the story? Because up to now, Ravi's been a dick, and I feel
Yeah,
like
completely, yeah.
yeah, so I feel
So,
like now is going to
yeah.
be where Ravi sort of goes into more anti-hero type
Mm,
territory, possibly.
maybe. I mean, the only other thing I was thinking is Gina was starting to get suspicious.
Mm.
But then obviously what happened later in this week, she's now unable to do
Yeah,
anything.
she's a bit busy elsewhere now.
Yeah, is so how much longer is this actually going to go on for, this
This is
Harry
what I
and
mean.
Kojo thing?
This is what I mean. Well, I
Sure, it's
feel
going to end
like,
next week, but we keep
of course,
saying
it
that. I feel
isn't.
like we keep saying
Yeah,
it every week.
yeah.
It's
I
going to
don't
end
think it
this
is.
next week.
I don't think it is. I just feel like as soon as Ravi gets back is when really it
Mm,
should end. So Ravi just needs to
yeah.
come back quite soon, please, because I just don't understand. I don't understand Oki's logic. That's the problem with this story for me. I
I
don't
was just
understand
going to
where
say,
Oki's
what
head's
do you
at.
think it is? Because I've seen
I
so
don't
many
get
people
it.
saying the same thing online, like this needs to end. And I think it's because there are too many little
I
clumsy
think
bits with this
the
storyline, I
problem is
feel.
it's not about like yeah, the cuckooing thing is an important issue to discuss, and fair
Yeah,
play
yeah,
to them
yeah.
for covering it. But it doesn't really feel like that's what this story is about.
Mm,
It's
no, it
an
don't.
element of it, but it feels like
Yeah.
Kojo isn't the main character of his story. It's more to do with Oki and Harry sort
Erky
of
and
at
Harry,
war
yeah,
with one
definitely.
another.
Do
Yeah,
you know one thing I am going to say though? Harry, the acting, I can't remember, is it
Elijah
Elijah?
Hollywood, I think his name is. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Holloway,
He's done.
Hollywood,
It
Hollywood.
is, yeah.
Hollywood's a place where the actors go.
I would say I would say
I'm gonna
Elijah
guess it's
Woods. I'm going to say
yeah.
so.
Well, he may as well be. He's very, very good looking. Yeah,
His
absolutely.
acting of being on
He's
drugs
great.
is incredible.
He's great.
I've
Yeah,
like actually been like worried for him
yeah.
because I've it's even like all the faces he's pulling out. It's just
Yeah,
really
he's
good
really good.
acting.
Like
I'll give him that.
gurning his face off,
Mm.
absolutely
Yes, that's the
on the
one.
edge of
Yeah,
sanity, effectively, isn't he?
yeah.
So
Hmm.
he is doing really, really, really well. And I do believe that he's going to rip Oki shred from shred and limb from limb when he eventually gets out of those chains. And I
Interesting.
wonder who the hell is going to stop him from doing that. Ravi, I don't think would, because Ravi will go, no fair, you deserve that.
Nicola would be the only person who'd be. Mind you, he's
Nicola
tried
would
to
do it
slay Nicola
herself.
before. True.
Nicola will do it
That's very
herself.
true. Yeah, no, but she might think if Harry's going to get into trouble, she'd try and stop him.
True, true, true. I don't know.
Mm.
We'll see where it goes, but Jesus Christ, let's hope it goes somewhere soon.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, there are some
Oh,
interesting elements to be pulled out of it, like you say. Elijah Holloway's performance has been excellent, and
well,
I don't mind
I'm gonna.
Oki as a villain, but it's just sort of like
Yeah.
Take it
Come
somewhere.
on. There's one other thing. Somebody sent us a DM actually, Rob,
Oh,
on
I.
Instagram, and I agreed with it. And they said it was last week.
Mm,
Do you think Anna's going to somehow get caught up
pulled
in all
into
of
it.
this?
Yeah,
Because
maybe.
and the only thing that made me think it was a scene last week when Gina was having a drink with Urki in Harry's barn, and Anna walked in and Urki went, "Oh, little sis," and as soon as he said that, I was like,
Yeah.
"Hmm,"
I mean, this is the
because
thing. This is the
she's
thing with
overseen,
Oki.
isn't she?
Oki has caused nothing but trouble for everybody
Mm,
involved in the storyline, including Ravi. Like the whole thing with the gun was all Oki's fault as
yeah.
well. So why the hell Ravi would leave him in charge of this situation, I have no idea.
So true. Why would he? Why would he leave Urki of all
Yeah,
people in
of all
charge?
people, like he'd be
Seriously.
better off leaving Harry in charge of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Genuinely.
Eh.
I mean,
But yeah, I get the principle. Yes.
leave Kojo in charge, he'd be doing a better job than
Yeah.
Oki would, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I do think this might be where the Anna storyline goes, but then
Mm.
we've got no sort of hint about where Freddie's going either yet.
Well,
So,
I don't know how, but also why involve Gina so much like they have been. They could have done
well, I
all of this
mean,
without involving Gina. I know it's trying to get one up on Harry, but
no, I
it
don't. I mean,
also wasn't that
I feel like
necessary.
Gina. Yeah, I feel like Gina is sort of like an element in this story
Mm.
because of her relationship with Harry.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's actually a fair. She is a fair enough moving part within the storyline, but the whole. I don't believe that she would look twice at Oki.
No, I don't think she would. But she was only doing it because she thought Harry had been. He said
Yeah,
something about that waitress, didn't he? So she
yeah.
were only looking at him for revenge, and then she started going, something seems off.
I thought that was AI when that phone call was happening because Harry sounded really unnatural when he was talking. I was like, "What? Have they put him through some sort of voice modulator or something?"
They're
It was
missing a
like,
Urky's not that good, is he? Missing a
he's
trick
not.
there, Rob.
Yeah.
He could have got Kojo to call
See,
George while he were
Ravi,
at it.
Ravi should have put me in charge of this. I'd have done a better job than Oki's doing, for Christ's
Definitely.
sake. Yes. Oh dear. Right. Well, we'll see where it goes
Right.
next week or
Yeah.
in the coming weeks, whenever we return to it. There we go. Right, ladies and gents. Let's move on to the next story. Right, let's move on to the Johnny and Callum and Lexi storyline, the arrival of Tim as well. Now,
Yes.
right, so obviously, as we were saying last week, Lexi manages to really put Johnny's career in jeopardy, but he manages
Oh,
to save
yes.
himself, just about. But then again, by the end of I think it's Monday's episode, he gets pissed and gets himself sacked because him and
Yeah.
Elaine get pissed together, and he decides it's to be a great idea to send an email to everybody in his contact list, including his boss,
Hmm.
and say, "Actually, I'm going to start my own company. I'll be great at it." So,
He drafts an email, doesn't he? But then he accidentally
yes,
ends up
and
sending
accidentally
it.
sends it. You ever done that?
Okay.
You ever sent an email or text message to the wrong people in a group?
No, because you know what? If you're doing a draft email and you want it to be a draft, right, do it in your notes or a Word
Yeah,
document and then copy and
yeah.
paste it when you're ready to send,
Yeah, that's
Johnny.
the
That's
most
what I'd
sensible thing to
say.
do.
You know
If
what I mean?
anything, he deserves to be sacked for an error like that, doesn't he?
Come on.
Come
Come on.
on,
I mean,
come
does he
on.
deserve to be sacked?
Does he deserve to be sacked? Do you think?
I mean, to be honest, the email that Lexi sent's probably
Yeah,
enough, really,
yeah. It was
because,
on his last warning then.
yeah, that's pretty. But I mean, he's handed a phone that's got confidential company email onto like a
Yeah, that's
13-year
not
old
great.
who's then gone on to do that. Yeah.
That's not brilliant. Okay, so the Johnny and Lexi dynamic. I have to say, I did feel a bit sorry for Johnny this week. Not only
Mm.
has he got all the Ballon fans after him with flaming torches, he's now also got Lexi after him as well.
Yeah, but I think it's fair. They've handled it. All comes down
He's
to how it
handled
was
it
handled
badly.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not just blaming Johnny. I think Callum, like I say, he should have stopped him coming over to the flat. They should have handled it so much more delicately with her. That
Yeah.
I think her reaction's understandable from a 13-year-old who's really
Yes.
hurt.
But then at the same time, we have been saying for months and months and months that Lexi is in some ways the most mature member of that entire family.
Mm.
And so in some ways you'd think that she would be able to deal with this a little bit better, but then
Yeah,
at the end of
but
the day she is 13. So
and also in fairness, right? I feel like she knows right from wrong, let's say, right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
really, she's just found out that Callum's been having an affair against her biological dad. So it's
Who's
kind
in
of fair
prison for
that she'd
credit
be.
card fraud?
Well, that's by the by, really.
Neither by. That's
What we're talking
irrelevant, isn't
about
it?
right now,
That's
yeah.
irrelevant,
Could
isn't
be
it?
worse. Could be worse than
Um
credit card fraud. It's Ben Mitchell, come on.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, out of all the things that Ben's ever done, it's amazing that
Yeah.
this is what sent him to prison. Um, so yeah, but at the same time, I feel like Johnny was trying to make an effort with Lexi this week, and every time he tried it, it was just getting thrown back in his face. I get it from
He's trying
Lexi's
too hard.
perspective. Do
But
you think
yeah,
he was trying too hard? Because at the same time,
yeah.
what do you do in that situation? You're the one that's messed this up. So now
Back
clearly,
off.
you reckon
Back
he should have
off.
just
Yeah,
gone. Do you know
back
what?
off.
But then aren't you saying to Callum, right? I've made a massive mess of things here, so I'll just leave you to deal with that. Thanks very much.
It's not so much that, just give us some time to come round a little bit, is what I'd say. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because I've got a kid and I'm thinking, what would I do? And the last thing
Yeah,
I'd do is force a person that they don't want to be around in their living area and in their personal space. I just won't do it.
yeah,
Don't know.
yeah. I don't know. So obviously,
But
this. Go on.
whatever. Like, yeah, they've tried. They've well, just equally, people might not want to do that and think, no, just they'll get used to it. They've got to. Like, how much time do you give them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, at some point,
I'd
she's going
say
to have
more
to
than
get.
what they have, though. To be
Yeah,
honest.
I mean, at some point, she is just going to have to deal with this. Like, at the
Yeah,
end of the
yeah.
day, you know, Callum's not happy in that relationship, so he's moved on. So you've got to kind of accept that, unfortunately.
And I'm sorry, Lexi, you don't know this right now, but Jay's not coming back, so you better deal with it.
This is your best option, Lexi love. So
Yeah.
I'd deal with this if I were you. So this kind of develops further this week with the arrival of Timothy, who is
Of
an old
course.
friend, an old university friend of Johnny's. Now, after Johnny gets
Mm-hmm.
himself sacked, he decides that literally the only thing he can do now is actually go ahead and try and become a sort of self-employed, independent lawyer type person.
Yeah.
And so he meets up with this Timothy bloke, who apparently is like filthy, stinking rich and can just like throw money everywhere. Now, Callum suspects that Timothy fancies Johnny. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought that was
Great.
what it was. Yeah.
Oh, seen well, maybe, but at the same time, I was sort of just like, is that Callum? Are we showing Callum being a little bit paranoid? And the vibe was supposed to be that maybe this relationship isn't as such a good idea as they thought it was.
Oh,
I don't know if that was the vibe.
I thought that Timothy. I don't think Timothy went in thinking, oh, I want to make a move on Johnny. I think he did genuinely meet up with him to say, look, you
I'd
help
like to
me
make a
out.
deposit in your business, young Jonathan.
Oh God, Rabbit, honestly, your mind.
Yeah.
No, but I think he met up with Johnny initially to be like, look, I agree. I want to pay you back somehow. You're the reason apparently that I'm so successful. But now he's met up with Johnny. He seemed very surprised when Callum introduced himself as Johnny's boyfriend. He seemed quite taken aback.
Oh, do you think? I thought he was.
Oh, I thought he
I
was
thought
too.
he dealt. I thought that was like no, barely any reaction to that
Oh,
whatsoever.
I thought he reacted a little bit, but not over the top because you wouldn't want to show it, would you? In that
Yeah, well, I mean,
situation.
which either means that he was maybe
Maybe
initially.
I have read it wrong. I don't know.
Well, it either means that either he was initially going to try and make a move on
Mm,
Johnny, and then realised he had a boyfriend and was like, "Oh, I can't do that,"
mm.
or he does not care that Callum exists and will try and make a move anyway.
I think, and a part of me wondered when Johnny came back and he was a bit tipsy, weren't he, after they'd finalised things.
Yeah,
But I know I'm skipping ahead, but my thinking at that point was that that Timothy might start putting things in Johnny's head like, are you sure you're ready for this family unit? Like, you still like
mm,
going out and having a drink and you can't do that as freely as you wanted. And
I
I
mean,
wondered if that's where they were going with that. I don't
it
know.
wouldn't be an unfair point in all honesty, would it, if you said that?
I do think Johnny's underestimating what's going to be expected of him. If you're going to throw yourself into this family unit, you've kind of got to be committed.
I mean, I've got to be honest, I didn't get great vibes from Timothy. I've got the feeling
Mm,
that he might be a bit villainous down the line, and I wonder if he's going to sort of take Johnny to the point where where he can't escape from the business side
yeah.
of things, and then say, "So, if you want to go to the next stage, my bedroom's through there.
I
Shall we
actually
go?"
thought, I've actually been wondering that as well. I
Yeah,
did also wonder that. Is he going to say,
yeah,
well, actually, maybe you can pay me back,
yeah,
Johnny?
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
either way, one or two things is going to happen. I think
Mm.
either that's going to happen, or Johnny's actually going to go there completely independently when Lexi pushes him that little bit too far. And he sort
Yeah,
of goes, you know
maybe.
what, screw it, I don't need this. I might just go and have sex with
Possibly.
him and then
Yeah.
they'll deal with the consequences of that later.
So you definitely think Timothy's going to be recurring now. He's not just coming
Yeah,
to set Johnny up so that he's not just being a tool so we can go, right, Johnny's been given this money from an old friend and now he's
yeah.
started up his own
Oh,
business and
it is
Timothy's going to go
nothing.
away.
Yeah, it's nothing as innocent as that. Absolutely
Yeah.
not. There's a vibe about Timothy that I don't quite
Yeah.
trust, and I don't think we're supposed to
Yeah.
trust him. Elaine doesn't mind him. Elaine loves him.
Oh, she loves him. Of course she does.
Do you know what we got out? You know what we got this week, didn't we? We got our first drinks on the house from her behind her new bar.
Yeah,
Ah!
of course. Yeah, with the champagne.
It's
Yeah.
officially arrived in the Albert. Drinks were on
Mm-hmm.
the house.
Hey,
Marvellous.
I'd be getting them away all the time if it's on Cindy, to be fair,
Oh,
Elaine. Keep
yeah.
doing it.
Absolutely. Too bloody right. Too right.
Drinks on Cindy's house.
Meanwhile, so this is what I mean. This Tom gives Johnny 5 grand to
Tim.
get him started. Tim gives him 5 grand to get him started.
Mm.
And so consequently, when Johnny walks into the flat and sees
Oh,
Lexi
yeah.
looking at these charms and stuff and bracelets
Hmm.
and girl things, I don't know.
Pandora.
Yeah, he instantly buys it for her, and that quite quickly seems to win Lexi round.
Yeah.
And now I wonder whether Lexi's going to start taking advantage of that and maybe put Johnny more in debt, which means that he's going to need more money off Timothy, and then we're going to end up with
Yeah.
a situation where we said it might go.
Oh, possibly. I mean,
He's
I
basically got
think
two of them
Callum.
trying to go against him.
Well, I think Callum should have already stepped in. I don't know why Callum's being quite, is the word meek with Johnny? Like, he'd had that. So basically, Johnny's bought the bracelet. Honey and Billy then reveal, well, actually, that was supposed to be, we were all going to pull together, our
I'm
money and buy her
sorry.
that as a
Am I the only
Christmas
one
present.
am I the only one that thought that Billy and Honey were being a little bit sanctimonious about that?
No, I
I
don't think,
really
I
thought they
thought,
were. I really thought
oh,
they were.
no.
I was like,
No,
get a
because I
grip.
think, No, because I think the point is they're saying you're coming in here chucking your money around, and that's not what Lola wants. Lola
Oh,
wants Lexi to appreciate gifts, and
yeah,
also
I'm
I
sure.
think Billy and Honey might have taken it a bit personally because they're not
Why?
minted, they've not got loads of money,
Yeah,
and
but
it's
he didn't
about the
know.
thought that counts. Janet had thought of the idea of
Yeah.
let's get her a lovely charm bracelet that most kids their age would probably absolutely love, and they're so expensive,
Yeah, they
Pandoras.
are. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They'd have probably got a three charms on it. He's gone out and got a tenant
Yeah, I
chain.
know.
Do you know what I mean?
But then at the same time, he was trying to. If anything, they don't need to worry about that now. That's a lot of money they don't have to spend now.
Yeah, but now it's like, but it was Janet's idea. It was her
Yeah,
thought.
he
So
didn't know
for
that
some
though.
people, it's the thought behind the gift,
I
and then there's
agree.
the money on top.
Yeah,
I don't. The thing is, Johnny didn't know that. Had he
yeah,
known that, he wouldn't have done it. So it's not like he's gone in deliberately with the intent of, I know they were going to buy it, but I'm going to do one
yeah,
up on him. And that is a bit how they've taken it.
yeah. Exactly.
But
That's what I
they
mean.
did Billy did make the point of, saying Lola always wanted her to wait for gifts and not, which again Johnny doesn't know. All right, but then that's Callum's opportunity to take Johnny to the side. Again, this is what I mean with Callum being a bit
Mm,
meek. Like,
mm.
then they were on about some pop artist who I've never heard of, by the way. I'm assuming it were a pop artist. Alessi Rose.
I've,
You know me,
no.
I'm music, and I
Yeah,
don't even know
of
who this
course.
is anyway.
Pop artists. I thought we were talking about something like Damien Hirst or Banksy. That's how I know a
Oh, I
pop
don't know.
artist.
Maybe it was then, but anyway, this person
I
that they
don't
want to
think
go
that
and
I don't think that Lexi
see.
wanted to go and see street paintings. Really, I don't think that was it. No.
No, but then Johnny straight away is piping up. Callum should have been like, Johnny, hang on a minute. Can we just go and have a word? And stopped him
Maybe.
talking there and then. But he keeps not doing this with him. I don't get it. Is it just Callum's personality?
I see. The problem is, I can see it from Johnny's
You don't think
perspective.
there's a problem, do you?
I don't. It's not that I don't think there's a problem, but it's just that I don't think it's as big a problem as people are making it out to be.
I see Johnny's perspective, but I also think all
If
Johnny
it shuts
needs is
Lexi up
Callum.
and stops her causing issues in the relationship, I'd be
No,
like, do you
it's a
know
bit
what?
of a
Fair.
yeah, but when you've got a kid, you don't you can take it like you don't want someone to be spoiling them all the time. Then
Mm.
Christmas comes, you go, what am I going to get them now? They've got everything they bloody want.
I
No
know, I
present's
know,
going to
I
be
can see
special at
that, I can see
Christmas.
that, but the problem is, like, it's all very well them sat there going, we're trying to teach her to wait. It's sort of like,
Yeah,
how about you start to teach her that it's not a brilliant idea to take someone's phone and send a really nasty email to all of their business contacts at the same time, you know?
yeah. I mean, obviously, although actually, having said that, maybe that's where they shouldn't be giving her presents because in
Yeah,
a way they're
punishment.
rewarding her for doing all that.
Yeah, exactly. And clearly they don't think that that was an issue. Like the fact that Lexi effectively lost Johnny his job. I know that
True.
he tipped
Yeah.
himself over the edge when it came to that,
Yeah.
but I feel like if he'd have just done the
Mm.
email on his own, the boss would have gone,
Yeah.
all right, mate. But he
Yeah.
would, he would have been able to paper over the cracks of that. Lexi
Yeah.
effectively was the one that sort of really
Yeah.
caused the issues there. None of them had any issues with that whatsoever. So the fact
I,
that
do you-
Johnny is now trying to
yeah.
mend that situation all on his own, I don't feel they
But
should be
it's
giving him as
the
much aggro.
yeah, but it's that he's buying the
Yeah, I know, but I
relationship
get,
rather
yeah,
than building a genuine one. You're just buying her affection rather than building
yeah.
a genuine bond. arguably, right, the Alessi Rose thing, or whatever they're called, sorry
Yeah,
if I'm saying the name wrong, would be a good idea had he
yeah,
not got the charm as well, because at least they could have
yeah.
bonded together
I
doing
do
that.
agree.
That's a
I
bit
do.
more.
Yeah, I agree completely. But at the same time, and not to put all 13-year-olds under the
Mm,
same sort of umbrella, but the slightly more materialistic way is
mm.
probably the quickest way to
But
win a
that is the
teenager
point.
round.
That's the point there, Rob. That's what they're trying to sell. Lola didn't want that.
I
But no,
know.
do you know what? At the end of the day, the thing that would stop all this is if Callum just had a word with Johnny there. Because I think Johnny would
Yeah,
go,
maybe,
fair enough, if that's what I totally respect that. Johnny would say that. But the
maybe.
fact that this is what I'm saying, Callum just needs to step
Mm,
up and be like, Johnny, can you just calm down on
yeah,
spending too much money on Lexi because of this, and this? And
so
Johnny
lack
would
of
go,
communication is the
yeah, all
problem
right.
here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, I
yeah.
think so.
There we go.
Anyway, there we go.
Um, but I feel like Timothy is very much going to be an issue moving forwards. I really,
Yeah,
really do.
definitely.
He's not
Definitely.
good news. He's really not. He's got that vibe about him, like a sort of
Mhm.
smarmy, sort of evil. I'm going to get. I fancy Johnny, so I'm definitely going to get him one way or the
Yes.
other. Sort of vibe about him.
Possibly because he's got money and that might be what he's used to now. No one says no to me in this
Yeah,
cha-ching, cha-ching. Yeah.
ka-ching, ka-ching. Yes, absolutely.
Mm.
Right. Before we get on to the Nigel stuff, let's have a quick chat about the Slaters. Right, penultimate story this week is the Slater stuff. Again with the sort of issue where I kind of, but right. So the cliffhanger at the end of the week, lo and behold, it's revealed that Dennis ain't the dad. We'd worked that out, I think,
How
hadn't we?
like is it? Oh, sorry. We were supposed to have believed then. We were
This is the
supposed to have
thing.
believed that Dennis was the dad.
Yeah,
Because that didn't happen. So why
yeah,
is this
because
the cliffhanger
that
of the week?
and you know what the frustrating thing about the cliffhanger this week was that the conversation that they had when Zoe turned around to her and says, "Yeah, Dennis Rickman isn't the dad." The very natural thing for Kat to say at that point is, "Well, who is then?" But we didn't get that. The duff duff was the fact that Dennis Rickman isn't the dad, and Kat just stares at her open mouthed. And it's sort of like you're just dragging that out now until next week. Like, will someone just ask her to tell the bloody truth, please?
Yeah. So I mean, who is it? I also feel like I'm bored of this. Who's dad? Just tell us.
I mean, I feel like
Tell
it's
me
got.
it.
Is it Anthony? Because they're not exactly throwing any more hints that it could be anybody
Do you
else,
know
are they, at this
what?
point?
I actually can't believe that I'm saying this, right? And it's something that I've seen online, and I've not thought it until this week. But is it Alfie?
Oh, I don't know.
Because he was doing a lot of we're
Would he do
family
that again?
talk, and you know, Zoe were like, "Cat'll never forgive me." That whole
Mm,
line that she said, and it'd be more shocking than if it was Anthony. And Aunt Michelle Ryan said it wasn't Anthony, but then wouldn't she say that anyway? Because like
yeah, of
we
course you would. Like,
want to
I
keep the
don't. Oh, I
mystery.
don't
So
know. It
Anthony's
could
still
be
up there for
Alfie.
me.
It could be Alfie. I wouldn't be. There's a side of me that wouldn't be surprised, but then
Mm,
there's a side of me that would be surprised because that means that they're just basically doing the Haley storyline all over again.
there is that, but would it be that out of character then for it to be Alfie? Really, like
I
from his
guess
side?
not. But at the same time, that would make Alfie an absolute scumbag if he did that to Kat.
Yeah, I totally agree. And there'd be no
As in,
coming
like,
back. So then,
unforgivable, and like, there's no way that they can work as a couple from that point onwards, surely.
so what would it be to Bert and Ernie? The kid would be both the cousin and the brother, wouldn't it?
Yeah, try and work that out on the
We've had
family
that.
tree.
We've had that with Amy and Ricky, right?
Oh, I mean that. Yeah, that's what I mean. The families
Because
are
they were
so
cousin, the mums were
intertwined with
cousins,
one
and
another.
the dad's the
Yeah.
same, and yeah, yeah. Anyway,
I mean, there was moments where I quite liked Zoe this week, I will say, because a lot of the time Zoe.
Gio.
Well, I was talking about her relationship with Tommy was what I was really referring to. I quite liked the sort of
Yeah, okay, yeah.
that's what I quite liked. I like the way that she's sort of actually becoming decent to the kids. You know, the whole thing where like there was a ghost in the cellar and sort
Yeah.
of like they're
Yes.
old and they're dead nearly. I believe you. Let's go and have a look for this ghost. I quite like that side
I
of her.
I like that because she's trying to be their older sister. I like that they've got that dynamic because there's
Yeah,
such a big age gap between them
yeah,
all, isn't there? But
yeah,
she does feel like their big sister.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I
I get
quite
what
like
you mean.
that.
It is nice, yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
else she's doing, she can nana. She's a mare bag, but
She
yeah,
can
that
nanas.
yeah, but that I quite like
Mm,
that side of her. And her relationship with Tommy was kind of quite demonstrated this week, I think, because Tommy now has to deal with the ramifications of helping Joel. Although you
mm.
know, arguably, I would say a lot of what happened wasn't really Tommy's fault, but he's sort of like the only one that's left to sort of blame in the situation as far as the kids
Yeah.
at the school are
He
concerned.
was mates with him, and he did
Yeah,
know some of the stuff he was doing, and he was sticking up for him before he went as
yeah.
extreme as attacking Vicky.
Ricky
Been
acting all dead
cancelled,
hard
hasn't
this
he?
week in front of Lily, which I bet he wouldn't
Oh
have been doing
yeah.
if Lily wasn't stood there.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I don't
I don't
know.
know. I were expecting Lily to be a bit softer towards Tommy, given it's her some cousin of some sort, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think she was a little like she was the one that was saying to Ricky, "Oh, all right, mate, like move on," like, and then
Mm.
was saying in the most Slater way possible. I think saying you're hated at school, maybe you shouldn't come back is Slater for. I'm sorry you feel like this. It's like,
Yeah, actually, I feel like it's Slater for. Do you want to know what's going on? Actually, I'll let you know what's going on.
yeah,
Like I'm
yeah,
kind of helping you out a little bit
yeah.
by telling you what's going on. Everyone hates you, just to confirm, just to
But
clarify.
then Tommy was kind of trolling Stacey online as well, and that was her mum, so you can sort of understand why
Oh
Lily's
yeah,
not that
they fell
interested.
out a bit ago as well, didn't they? About
Yeah, they've
when
got
Lily told her about him having an
yeah.
AI friend and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they've got a bit of a rocky relationship with
Hmm.
Tommy and Lily. We kind of don't really find out how it goes at the school with Tommy this week. I'm assuming that we might find that out in the coming
Yeah.
weeks, but I'm guessing that Tommy's got a little bit of knee crawling to do, a little bit of a journey ahead of him in trying to sort of
Yep.
integrate himself back into society a little bit more, haven't they?
He seems like he'll be all right with Zoe's wise words there to hand.
See,
Mm.
this is what I mean. We all need a big sister like Zoe. Nobody needs a daughter like Zoe, but we all need a sister like Zoe.
Yeah, she's good at being a big sister. You've got to give her
Yeah.
that, definitely.
I mean, so Zoe steals some of the Vic takings this week to pay off the private
Yeah.
detective. She basically gets impatient, right? Because
Yeah.
Sharon's gone on holiday, and
Yeah.
Zoe's like, "You've literally only just come back from holiday. Are you having a laugh?"
I was going to say fair. Like, when am
Yeah,
I going to get this money? Are you going to
yeah,
come? Are you going to go on another holiday when
yeah.
you finish
Are you, when you
there?
come
Like, what's
back,
going
also,
on?
God, Sharon,
Yeah.
you haven't been on holiday in about a week, so surely it's
Yeah.
time for you to go away for a bit, isn't it? And so yeah, she steals some of the Vic's takings. This is immediately worked out by Kat, and quite
Well,
quickly
yeah.
she kind of works out what she's doing.
And
Um,
Alfie, why were we defending Zoe so much when it was so obvious? Do you know what I
oh, see,
mean?
is this now your new theory? Yeah.
I'm leaning toward it. I don't know. I was
I
adamant
really hope you're
adamant
wrong.
that it was
Yeah,
meant
are
to
you
be.
adamant? Are you adamant, Ray? Are you
But
adamant?
now after this week, but then I feel like maybe they've thrown these little things in
Mm.
to make you think that it's Alfie. I don't know.
I really, really, really hope you're wrong because
I
I don't
really
want
hope it's
that.
not Alfie. I genuinely hope it's not Alfie as well
Because
because
it just feels like we've
no.
done this. We've done that with Cat and
We've
Alfie
got Cat and
before.
Alfie back behind the Vic. Let's
Yeah,
keep them there and let's keep
yeah,
them happy and let's keep them being like they're being a good couple. They've still got dramas, but they don't need to have the dramas with each other. They can just help each other
yeah.
through the dramas rather than
And I'm
being
also
each
sort
other's
of
drama.
yeah, and I'm also kind of stuck with the point at the minute of what is the point of Anthony at the minute
Yeah,
if he
I
doesn't turn out
totally
to be the
agree.
dad,
Why has he
you
come
know?
back just so that we'd think that
Yeah,
Zoe's
because the Patrick
kids? But
stuff's done
yeah,
and dusted now. He's married
yeah.
to
Why is he
Yolandi.
back?
He's got nothing to be here for now. So
Yeah,
that
literally, he's not done
surely
anything.
no. So that surely must be it, right?
You'd think, or he literally just came back to be a red herring, and he's going to be going again soon.
Hey, we will see. But yeah, so she meets up with this private detective, and Kat kind of quite rightly, I think, goes with her. As soon as I've just paid for this, I think I'll go
Yeah,
along to this meeting. Thank you very much. And so she's immediately all sort of really cagey around the answers when it comes to
yeah,
asking who the father is. The detective is kind of is trying to ask some quite reasonable questions, and I don't think Zoe gives her basically any information of which she can find this kid with.
yeah. And then she's like, "Oh, there were hang on, multiple births. Like that's quite
Yeah,
a big thing. She should
didn't
have
even know
probably
that.
told her as well.
Like, what has
Yeah,
she told this detective?
yeah. Why do you not want them to be found? Because you're just not giving any information, really, was she?
Yeah.
I think. Did you not get the impression it's because she was in front of Cat? That's why, or do you think she just didn't want to
Oh,
tell her some
maybe,
stuff?
maybe, yeah. Like, if Kat hadn't been there, do you reckon she'd have told
Yeah,
completely
she
the
might.
truth?
I don't. I still think she would have said what she said about don't search for the daughter's death certificate. I think she would have still said that.
Yeah.
Um, but I think she would have told her more details had Cat not been there. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, maybe. But yeah, and then this is how we end up with the massive cataclysmic reveal at the end of the week that she lied about the dentist stuff, which again I'm pleased about because that was hanging together by a thread in terms of logic if that was the truth
Yeah.
anyway. So I'm glad it isn't that. So it's got to be Anthony, right? But then who are we thinking about being the kid? Now I thought that the Jasmine stuff sort of maybe pointed itself back in that direction this week, which we'll talk about in a sec.
Yes, in some ways, but I also know something else about the Jasmine thing, so we'll get to that.
Ooh, well.
I think.
The only other thing is that about this is that it appears that the Vic has now got a cat,
Yeah, Cat at the
another
Vic.
cat,
I'm hoping they
another
call it
cat.
Cat. A
Yeah, they may as well.
cat.
Yeah,
Cat's
they've got a
Cat.
new
Yeah.
cat. Bless it, caught in the drainage system. That must have been
Oh
terrifying
yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
That was
Was that
quite.
meant to be us seeing a softer side to Zoe and how caring she is?
Well,
Because she'll
we
willing to
learned that
put her
she's.
hand in shit to get
Yeah, I
shit
mean,
out.
we learned that she's a cat person.
Yeah.
Is there an irony in that anywhere?
I was just going to say, ironically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
funny that.
Mm.
But I mean, it was a cute cat. Cute
Yeah,
cat.
very
I
cute.
tell you
Very
what, she
cute.
did well at bathing it. It didn't look like it'd just been in a sewage pipe by the time
No,
she
it
was finished, did
didn't.
it? No,
Yeah.
it looked quite well cared for.
I think as well that was also that Kat and Zoe could have a bit of a bond,
A
which then led
moment.
to Zoe telling her the truth about the father.
I don't think we've had a cat, as in a pussy cat, on the square since Dot had a cat, so that's nice.
Yes. I feel like we need some more pets on
Mm,
Albert Square. We don't have that
yeah.
many at the minute. I mean, whatever happened to George's dog, Tyson?
Tyson. Yeah, I don't know where Tyson lives at the minute, but
Where
now
is
Tyson's
Tyson?
moved. So he's still wandering around the. He's still wandering around
Yeah.
the Vic looking for people. Bless him. But yeah, fair enough. Seeing as though Tyson doesn't live in the Vic anymore,
Mm.
the Vic needs a pet, so I
Hmm.
guess it's the cats. So that's all right.
Hmm. Yeah.
Two cats behind the bar of the Vic.
Yeah.
There's an
Why not?
appropriation to that. Marvelous. Right. Talking of Jasmine, let's now discuss a little bit of Jasmine when we talk about the Nigel storyline. So, the final story of the week this week was the Nigel stuff, but also some interesting elements brought into the Jasmine storyline. So, I mean, let's talk about Jasmine first. Okay.
Okay.
So, Nigel, we will talk about Nigel in a bit, but he basically drives into Gina and Jasmine this week, and they are both sent off to hospital. And Jasmine, we see well, what she says first of all when she's all delirious and being nearly unconscious is that she has to pay for what she did, right? Then later on, we see that she's had a card arrive for her in the hospital saying that she needs to get well soon because she needs her, whoever the sender is,
Mm.
needs her fighting fit.
Mm. To
Now
carry on
then,
this
yeah,
vendetta against somebody or whatever
against
it is.
somebody. And also, we learned that her mum is out of the country.
I don't think that were true.
I don't think that was true either.
No, I don't think. I think she
So,
just said that to.
yeah, sort of
So
appease
that they
Oscar
won't.
at that moment.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what the hell is going on with Jasmine, please, Rihanna?
Right. Jasmine's surname, we have found out, is Jasmine
Fisher.
Fisher.
Yeah.
Right? Why would she be hiding her surname from, I don't know, her
Anybody.
current job, right? At
Yes.
the Albert, which she got a bit sketchy about. So it would transpire, Rob,
Yes.
when Cindy tried to leave Ian quite some time ago in like
1997.
1997, roughly.
Yeah. Roughly around then.
She went to go and stay with a friend
Yes.
called Sally Fisher.
Yes.
So the theory is that is Sally Fisher's daughter potentially. Would make sense. Cindy would potentially have never met her. What has Cindy done though when she was staying with Sally Fisher, or has she been since and caused, some Cindy chaos, after 1997 and
Yeah.
she needs to pay for what she did? Is that who Jasmine is?
Yeah, I mean, Sally wasn't a massively consequential character.
No.
I mean, looking at it, she's had 2 episodes. So that was all
Yeah.
she had. 2 episodes in 1997, and that was basically Ian trying to find out where the hell Cindy had gone.
Yeah, tricked her
So
into finding out.
yeah, so she wasn't like a big important character or anything. We don't really know
No.
what became of her. So yeah, the coincidence there is fascinating. But then I'm kind of also thinking about the fact that Greg had the same surname as the Irish guy of the Irish
True.
twins. So the
Is
surname
it just
thing,
a red herring?
the surname thing necessarily isn't as helpful as we'd like it to be, and Fisher isn't an uncommon name either. So
And you know what? Maybe it's a fake surname Jasmine's using at the minute.
Maybe.
So people don't realise it's Ford.
yeah,
or
because we don't know who the
Slater.
hell she is. Yeah, she could
Not
be
that it'd be
Mitchell.
Slater, but
No, but we don't know who the hell she is, right? And I think the mystery was really sort of ramped up this week. She is interesting. There's definitely something that intrigues me massively about her.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if Oscar's going to be in danger soon, maybe even.
I
not think?
feel like she genuinely likes Oscar, to be fair.
I think she likes
But
Oscar,
she's still keeping
but
things from him.
is she just one of these people that it's going to be dangerous for her to be in his life? And I feel like Oscar actually
Okay,
really, really,
fair.
really, really likes her, and so will put himself in danger to defend her
Yeah,
or to
true.
protect her.
In which case, it'd be more likely she's something to do with the Fords, potentially.
Well, this is what I've been thinking, if she is to do with the Fords. The other side of things is I wonder if they're doing a big double bluff with her. And the fact that when she arrived was fairly soon after we discovered the existence of this daughter in Zoe's
Yeah.
life. So obviously we were going to think, oh, well, this is clearly the daughter. So they know that we were going to think this. So then what they've done is that they've tried to make it hinted that she might be to do with another storyline, and then they're actually going to turn it
But
back on the
actually,
head.
no,
So,
she is
yeah,
Zoe's daughter.
yeah,
Yeah, I know what you mean. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be a bit disappointed if it was that though, because it was so obvious when she first came in that like I don't
yeah.
know.
But then I
They could
feel
have
like
just
they,
brought her in. They could have just brought her in before they brought Zoe back if they were going to try and do that.
yeah,
Would
maybe.
have
But
made
then I
more
just,
sense.
but then the Cindy stuff, sort of like, yeah, the only thing that we can really assume that she's involved with, if it is for Cindy, is the Ford stuff. But then,
Mm.
what could sit like? Who is she
Well,
in that regard? Because as far as we were aware, all the Fords are dead now.
yeah, which could be a niece or something, couldn't
Yeah,
she? You know what I mean? It could be something like that. Well, okay, but if so, hypothetically, she's to do with the Fords, it'd be quite, or something like that. It'd be quite
yeah,
believable that they might send her that little card, which is to do with Zoe. Who's going to send that card saying we need you better so that you can?
yeah. I mean, the Zoe connection doesn't make sense in that regard, does it? Because
Well,
who's sending it to her unless it's to do with
a
Greg?
twin
But
brother.
then I don't. Yeah, so what? They're both going to be against Zoe
Like maybe
for
they did.
abandoning them?
Maybe they got adopted together.
Yeah, maybe,
Mm.
possibly. I don't
So
know.
it could still be Zoe.
It could still be
It's got to be
Zoe.
Zoe or Cindy. It can't be anything else,
It's one
surely.
or the other, right? It must be one or the other.
And it's certainly a female because of what she said.
Yeah, I mean, she is fascinated by Cindy. I don't think that that's for debate, is it? Like every
No.
time Cindy gets mentioned up, Jasmine either sort of
Mm.
raises an eyebrow or is asking questions and seems really sort of intrigued,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to talking about the sort of past life that Cindy had as Rose.
Yeah.
So it's
But
definitely in that sort of ballpark.
But if it turned out that she was to do with Zoe, you could easily write in that she was just genuinely curious because Cindy sounds crazy. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
Cindy's done so
Oh,
many things. She's like
if
trying to
Cindy
get
was
goss on her boss.
yeah, I
Like,
mean, if Cindy was your boss in real life, I think you would be
yeah,
fascinated, right? You'd be like, you
yeah,
could tell me
yeah,
everything about your life. You sound
yeah.
fascinating. Yeah,
So you could easily write off the Zoe thing as if it was that she's Zoe's daughter. You could easily write the Cindy thing off as that. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
if it's not
easily,
that.
easily. So,
So it's Cindy
um,
or Zoe, right?
she's got some bite to her though, which kind of makes me wonder if she isn't, as she is a bit of a sort of dubious character to say the least. I felt sorry for Nigel when she shouted at him. But it's sort of like, so she's got a lot of secrets and she's worried about secrets coming out is
Yes,
the thing, isn't
definitely.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that kind of makes me think that if that she's maybe not related to Zoe in any way, because why would she be hiding that necessarily? Whereas with the Cindy stuff, if she is to do with the Force, then that's definitely a sort of criminal background, so she wants to keep that as quiet as possible.
Yeah, it would in that regard. It would make more sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
But no, I don't know. I don't know why. Yeah, why would you be spying on Zoe from afar?
yeah, exactly. You just sort of, and she's made absolutely no effort to get involved with Zoe's life whatsoever, has she?
That we've seen, but maybe we'll
Yeah, but it
enter.
would have made
I mean,
if she while she
they
was
had
looking
that
for
little
while she was
interaction when the
yeah
Slaters went out at the Albert, and Zoe said the
yeah
whole, I'm way older than you, or whatever line she said to
yeah
her.
yeah true. But then surely while she was looking for a job, she'd have gone into the Vic first rather than to the
See,
Albert.
would that be too obvious though if it is for Zoe? You know?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I
I'm
don't.
leaning towards Cindy, in all honesty. I am leaning towards Cindy.
Same. And then if it is Fisher, is it to do with a friend? And then you're just
Yeah,
going to be giving some backstory about how Cindy caused some chaos in this
yeah.
friend's life.
Which you
And
can believe because it's
yeah,
Cindy.
sure, why not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. We will see. But anyway, she is in hospital because of Nigel. So
Yes, of course.
Nigel and Julie wanted to go to India. On its own,
Oh God.
this is a terrible idea, right? Of
Yeah, why would Julie
course it
so up
is.
for it?
This
That'd
is a
be the
terrible
most
idea.
horrendous holiday you
Yeah.
could probably
Like
ever
you
wish
wouldn't
for,
enjoy that.
Julie.
You would not enjoy that. Nigel surrounded constantly by an unfamiliar environment. That's
Yeah.
not going to work well for him, is it?
No, do you know what though? Like people do take I don't know, people do go on holiday with people with dementia though. So when I went to Mallorca,
Yeah.
this lady actually came up to me and asked because she overheard me saying, "No, I'm popping to the loo," and she went, "Oh, will you walk my would you mind walking my husband to the toilets? He's got dementia." And then I was like, "Why am I being given this
What?
responsibility of a man with dementia to walk into the toilet? What am I supposed to do? Do I need to wait for him afterwards, like when he
Why is that
comes
your
out?"
responsibility to do? No
Honestly,
offense.
and you can't. But I was like,
You
I
can't say
can't really.
no, can you?
Yeah, you can't when you go into the toilets. But then I was like, have I got to wait for him afterwards? And anyway, I took him. all the way I'm walking down. He absolutely loved me, by the way. I
Oh, wouldn't.
spoke to him like he was my granddad, and I'm going,
Yeah,
don't forget you're at number five, five, number five. Remember number five, as in like where his wife was at the carousel. Number five, don't forget
yeah.
five. Went to top, went right. These are yours, and he went, oh right, and just. I watched him walk in and walk straight back out and wander off, and I was like, "That's not my responsibility
I
anymore,
mean,
though,
yeah,
is it? I'm busting here.
yeah,
Sorry, I ain't got time to. I've got my 3-year-old over there.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
anyway, it happens. Sorry to digress on
There you
that
go.
little tale of that people with dementia do go on holidays, and
They
it doesn't
do go on
seem that
holiday,
easy,
but
to
it's
be
not.
fair.
It's not. But I just don't think that it's a very because Nigel is fading hugely now at this point, isn't he? He's starting
Mm,
to really go in a bad direction. Now I get the notion behind them wanting to have one last big adventure together. Let me
yeah,
tell you,
agreed.
likely it would probably be a bloody adventure. You know what I mean? That's one word
It's
for it.
it's like you say. We've all seen, including Julie, that actually this routine does him the world of good. Look what happened when they tried to go back to Scotland, to a place that you were
Yeah,
familiar with.
he was
Like
like,
he
screw
got
that,
straight
got
back
back.
on train.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So yeah, taking and he, you know what Nigel is like at this stage. Like he'd be wandering around the Taj Mahal looking for Phil,
yeah, definitely,
wouldn't he? Bless
definitely.
him. Oh,
Hmm.
so yeah, this is a terrible idea, but Nigel has
Awful idea.
decided it's an awful idea, but they have decided that they're going to sell the Morris Minor
Yeah.
to get the money to go to India with.
Hmm.
And Nigel is kind of struggling with that all, as well as almost like he doesn't really understand. Like he knows that he needs to sell, and there's some nice stuff being established between Oscar and Nigel. I quite like that. I mean, Oscar's one of these characters that just works with anybody really at this stage, isn't he?
I feel like he works quite well with the older
The older
characters, though.
characters, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
because
it's
he's a bit of
because
an old soul, isn't he?
yeah,
You
he is, but
know?
at the same time, he is so young at the same time as well in
Yeah,
terms of
yeah,
personality. Like he's
yeah,
one of these that's just really sort of exuberant and can sort of just do
yeah,
anything. Which
yeah,
I feel like old people will sort of look at Oscar and think, "Oh, I can see myself in you. That's nice. That's
yeah,
nice." And
yeah,
he makes them feel younger just by being in their lives. So
yeah.
yeah, and he's sweet with Nigel as well. It
Very.
is sweet. It is sweet. Um, yeah, so he sells the Morris Minor and then immediately sort of like decides that he wants to take it out for one last drive because he's got such emotional attachment to this car, which is
Hmm.
fair enough.
Yeah.
And so he takes because the spare keys, like because Julie had given him the keys to Lauren, and Lauren had kind of given him the money to this car, but then she finds the spare keys in like the biscuit tin or something like that, didn't they? In the
It were
cupboard.
in the like where the spare tea bags were on the top
Yeah.
shelf, but Julie had already said that she couldn't remember where she'd
Oh,
put the
yeah,
spare
which doesn't
key.
bode well if you can't even remember that. How's Nigel supposed to remember all of this as well, you know?
I know, but then he found him, didn't he, accidentally? But
Yeah.
anyway, they sold the car without it, which they probably
Yeah.
shouldn't have done.
No,
But
I
there
was
you
going to say
go.
you need both sets of keys. I would have
Yeah, I
thought
would have thought so, but
for this exact reason because the car gets stolen
yeah,
by
yeah,
Nigel.
yeah.
Bless him. I mean, the idea of someone in that state driving a car around is scary in
Ah,
itself, isn't it?
interesting. Bless him. Do you not think that he was fully capable when he did that and knew exactly what he was doing there? Because I think that is what is going to be the argument about all of this.
Oh, really? Like, no, not
Yeah.
particularly, because I don't think he would have done that in his right mind.
Well, you could argue that he is in his right mind, but because of the dementia,
Hmm.
he does things that are a bit riskier, and it's not because of his dementia, but for me, it's a bit like he's like, I don't care, I'm going to be gone soon anyway. So do you know
Hmm.
what? One last ride in my Morris Minor, but I feel like he was quite capable in that moment, and he knew exactly what he was doing, and that's why he's trying to hand himself in because he knows that he knew what he was doing and that he wasn't in the middle of a dementia moment when he were doing it.
But then he kind of was because he started getting really sort of confused at the traffic lights and was sort of trying couldn't
Yeah,
work. The car stalled at one point and he couldn't
yeah.
remember how to get it started again, and then was panicking because Julie was
Oh,
trying to
I
ring
just
him.
thought it was because his car were
Old
so
and
old
crap,
that it just
old and
yeah,
crap.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, but
yeah,
no, I mean, I feel like the Morris Minor is because they sold the Morris Minor quite
yeah,
quickly as well, didn't they?
yeah,
So it's not like I feel like the Morris Minor actually works perfectly well. It's just that
yeah,
cars stall, and I know
yeah,
cars
yeah.
stall because they
Possibly.
stall right in the middle of driving exams. That mean that you fail your tests. Yes. So, but then he got all kind of panicky and confused and couldn't remember how to get it started again. And Julie's ringing him because Julie has no idea where he is at that point. I would also say Julie. I mean, I get the relationship that they've got together, but like Julie, like just goes out to work and leaves him in the house for hours on end. It would seem.
I've been thinking this because this is the thing though with dementia, and I don't know if this is how they're trying to depict it with Nigel, that actually they do tend to have good times, and then they might have like this is
Yeah,
from my experience as somebody who had dementia.
yeah,
They sometimes go through good periods. They're not fully themselves. Like, I find technology seems to be one of the things that they
understandably.
lose first, the capacity of like being
Yeah,
able to handle. But you might generally be good otherwise, and then yeah, you might have odd moment of forgetfulness of what did I walk in here for.
yeah,
But they're going through what you call a good phase, or they'll go through a bit of a bad phase and then they'll get a bit better again
yeah.
afterwards. So we're supposed to believe that Julie's leaving him because she thinks he's in a bit of a good phase.
Well, are we sort of like, are we getting the true representation of at what stage of his illness
Dementia
that
is that?
Nigel is? Yeah,
Yeah.
because surely if he was in his sort of final months, you wouldn't be leaving him on his own at this stage, would you?
No, you wouldn't think.
Like
This
he
is what
would
I mean.
require
This is
full
what I
time.
mean. I think
Yeah,
he's quite capable at the
yeah,
minute. He's having a
because
bit of a good phase, and yeah, there's the odd forgetfulness.
like obviously he's going to fade and it's not going to get any better
Mm,
from here. It's only ever going to get worse. But if they're all right to sort of, because presumably Julie's gone to work for the day and it's just sort of leaving him on the house on his
leaving
own,
him, yeah.
which we have seen when Phil's nipped to the shop, he's nearly set fire to the house in the time that it took for Phil to go to the shop or
Yeah,
something. So
no,
it
I
doesn't,
agree. Or is it because they think, well, he's going through a bit of a good phase at the minute? I feel comfortable to leave.
yeah.
I know what you mean though, because
But then I suppose George
it
is
felt
there as
like
well,
that
isn't he?
when. Well, yeah, but he wasn't though, was he? He got called
No.
back, but maybe
Yeah.
he's sharing a bit of responsibility.
I
But I
think he
did think
must
that
be.
when Phil decided he were going away, and then Julie decided to get herself a new full-time job, I was like, is this
Yeah.
the best timing?
Yeah, I
Okay,
suppose maybe they haven't shown a huge amount of the George factor in the Nigel story as well, because if
possibly.
he is living there, then that means that maybe George and Julie have been sort of sharing keep an eye on Nigel moments,
Yeah,
maybe while
maybe.
yeah,
Yeah,
because George isn't really working at the moment, is he?
he's been he were
He was doing
security,
the
weren't he, at
yeah,
his barn?
yeah, but then
So he'd be working nights,
So
arguably.
Julie's back by then, so
Yeah,
arguably that's fine. But I think maybe we could have seen
yeah.
that sort of dynamic play
And
out.
I think that he's going to wander out, so to speak,
And the
locally, and a lot of the
square
square know.
knows,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And
So
to be
maybe
fair,
that's what we're led to believe.
most of the square is sort of all right with Nigel. But I just feel like leaving him on his own in the house is a
I
dangerous
know what
thing
you
to
mean.
do
Yeah, because
because
the house itself
anything's
can prove
yeah,
dangerous, like
anything's
he has
dangerous
done.
in a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, so he takes the car, gets all confused, and then effectively because Gina and Jasmine are sort of getting drunk together, they come out of the Albert, and that's when Nigel drives past and kind of crashes into both of them,
Mhm.
and doesn't end well. Both of them have to go to hospital. When
Mhm.
they're sort of Jasmine's basically in a pool of blood on the floor, and this is the reason that Nigel sort of kind of clings to Nigel's memory is that he was involved in this because he's got blood underneath his fingernails and
Mhm.
his comfy shoes get covered in blood as well.
Mhm. His comfy shoes. You can't be getting
Yeah,
your comfy shoes covered in blood.
have you got comfy shoes?
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
me, Robert, and my foot
yeah.
problems. I have got comfy
All your shoes are
shoes.
comfy.
Yeah, at the moment.
Yes. Honestly, viewers and listeners, she has terrible athlete's foot. She needs all her shoes
It's
to be
not
comfortable.
athlete's foot. Give over. It's plantar fasciitis, all right.
I know, but I can't pronounce that, so it's just
I
easy
was
to say
calling
athlete's
plantar
foot.
fasciitis for God knows how long
Yes,
until
yeah,
someone
yeah.
corrected me.
I wish they hadn't
Anyway.
corrected you. I really wish they hadn't bothered correcting you on that. Anyway, so Julie sort of, right. Do you see
Hmm.
what was? I mean, obviously, yes, it was bad that Julie did everything she did this week, but I
Hmm.
totally get it.
So do I. But this is the other part with the Nigel thing and the capable thing, right? Because this is where I think he has been going through a bit of a good phase, and then Julie's made him doubt his own mind, which is pretty bad.
It is
Like
pretty
when he had
bad.
the dream and stuff, and he were pretty
Oh
much
yeah,
reliving it, and then he wakes up and she's like, "Oh no, that didn't happen." Then he starts doubting his own mind, and I think that's horrible. And is
yeah.
that made it worse? The bit that he don't remember it all because he's like, "Oh, so that weren't true." So then his brain's wiping it out. I don't know how
She's doing it
far it
for.
works.
She's doing it
Yeah, the
for
greater good. I
the
get it.
greater good in her sense, though, because she's trying not to make him panic about the fact that he ran two girls over who are currently in
Mm.
intensive care in hospital. Like, you can understand why she wants to hide that from him.
Mm.
I'm not
He
saying it's
didn't technically
brilliant.
run Gina over, by the way. Right? It's I don't know why this is wound me up so much this week, but Jasmine pushed her out of the way. Because I was
Right.
like, why is Gina so injured? She didn't actually get hit by the car. I even rewound it to check because I was like, I'm sure Jasmine pushed her, but I think we're led to believe she pushed her and then she's banged
Oh,
her head.
okay. Oh, well,
Right,
yeah,
but
yeah.
anyway.
They just
Yeah,
left
still. That wouldn't
Nigel
have
wouldn't have hit
happened
her.
had Nigel not.
If anything, Gina injured is Jasmine's fault.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
right.
if anything, have a
Yeah.
go at her about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so, but then, obviously, so Julie is saying to Nigel, no,
Yeah.
I was the one that was driving the
Mm.
car. It's not your fault whatsoever.
That
And
didn't
then,
make sense to me though, anyway, why she was saying I was driving. So what? Nigel would be all right to lie for Julie, but not himself.
but this is
Why
the other,
wasn't he telling Julie to step forward then? Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
With how
well,
principled he is on
yeah, but
such
this is the
things.
thing. If he hadn't, I think that if he didn't have dementia, he would have, like, he would have handed himself in probably yes, because Nigel is
Mm,
it's just one of sort of life's good guys.
mm.
But I think that it was the fact that he didn't want the dementia to remove him from responsibilities of his
Yeah.
actions,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah. That
So,
is
and I
what,
get that.
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But then my other question is, like, if somebody has got dementia, like,
Mm.
and you do something like that, is that gonna land you in prison?
I don't know. This is what I was wondering. This is where I'm saying about how capable he was in that moment, because I actually think he was, and he knew what he was doing, and he knew that he wasn't allowed to drive while he's got dementia. On the flip side, if only everyone knew that actually he weren't driving that badly. Yeah, he stole a car, but
Yeah,
he only crashed because Julie started ringing him. So if anything, it is Julie's fault
yeah. But
because
then,
he started getting distracted, and
but then
that's
to be
why he
fair,
crashed.
that can happen to somebody that hasn't got dementia. Like
This is what I'm
what they
saying.
always say,
Yeah,
like 1 second
yeah.
of distraction can cause a motorway pile up, can't it? So
Which is why I think Julie's the one who's messed up by taking him away. And they should have just stayed there and they should have explained it. But obviously the implication is he's knowingly driven when he knows that he's had his driving license. Has it been taken away from him? He's
well,
legally not allowed to
I
drive,
mean,
is
he
he?
certainly shouldn't be driving. But then I would
Mm.
argue that is it maybe the dementia that's made him think that he can drive?
Yeah, could they argue that
That
in
would be
court that he
that would be
thought that he saw his car, found the
yeah,
key, and just thought, oh,
yeah.
my car's there. I'm going to go take it for a drive.
I
But he
certainly don't
didn't,
think
did
he'd
he?
go
That's
to.
what I'm
I
saying.
don't think he'd go to prison. I really don't. I mean, I might
I
be
don't
wrong. I
think he
might be
would.
completely wrong, but I don't
Yeah.
think that he will go to prison. I don't think he can go to prison for this because right off the bat, the defense can say, well, he's got dementia. He would not have done
Mm.
anything like this in his right mind.
And in fairness, they could argue what you've just said of, he's seen the key and took it for a drive because
Yeah,
when the police questioned him, they were like, how did you get in the
and he's
car?
got
He's
no
like, I don't
memory.
know.
Yeah, he's got no
Yeah.
memory of any of it. So surely, I
Yeah.
mean, one of the things that you would do in this situation,
Mm.
presumably in court, would be to talk to the police person who interviewed him at the time of the incident, and they
Yeah.
would say, yeah, he did come in. We did interview him, and he was incredibly confused. He couldn't remember a single detail about how he
Yeah.
came to be behind the wheel of the car.
Yeah.
So the courts are
So
going to
he
go,
did
well,
it. Yeah.
clearly he was in no fit state to be driving, and that's not
Yeah.
his fault. So see you later. Court a
Yeah.
case closed, and nobody's died either. So it's not got that added complication onto
Mm.
it. You know,
Yeah.
so
I don't, you would think, but Julie might be in trouble for trying to cover it up more. Do you
yeah.
think?
Well, if anything, Julie's made the situation worse for herself more than anything else.
Mm.
But I feel like she just wanted to protect Nigel from the sort of scary flashing blue lights and everything of the situation that was going to happen, didn't she?
Yeah. Do you think legally they have to keep pursuing it, or could I don't know how it works with the car accident, like running someone over. Does it matter if the victims like Jasmine and Gina go, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's all right, we're over it now, we're better, let's just leave it," or do the police
Yeah.
go,
Well,
"No, we've got to follow this up. You shouldn't have been
well,
driving a car legally."
I feel like Jasmine is going to make them drop the case because of the reaction that she gave Nigel when he confronted her with what she had said to him.
Unlucky for her that that's the only thing you
Yeah, right.
remembered about the entire
Yeah,
thing.
literally the only
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, but
yeah,
that means that because I think she did remember that it was him
yeah.
because she
She did.
can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then
yeah,
realised that what she'd said implicates her
hmm
in whatever she's implicated in.
yeah.
So she needs him to be removed from police
Yes,
interrogation as
yeah.
quickly as possible, doesn't she?
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think she has that power.
I
And
th- I don't know.
do you know what I mean? Because he's done
Either
it now. He's
way,
already broken the law whether somebody got injured. They now know that he drove a car when he's
yeah,
not legally allowed to.
yeah. But
Even
that
Jack, though, didn't want him to go to the police, did he?
I know, and Jack loves arresting people.
Yeah, right. Jack, Mr.
Yeah,
Principal Cop, who,
his favourite
can't
thing to
break any
do.
rules.
Yeah.
Mm.
Julie, I mean, yeah, her actions weren't great this week, but I love her. I really do.
I do, but I did feel like, Julie, you're making this worse, even though I get where
Oh
it's
yeah,
all coming from.
completely.
But stop. When she said to him, like, I wouldn't ever lie to you, and it's like, well, you've just broken all trust
Yeah,
now.
I
You
know,
didn't
I
need to say
know,
it
I
like
know.
that.
Yeah.
But I know as well. I
She
get
is
it.
such a 90s vibe about her, hasn't she? Like, she's
Yeah.
got such an old classical EastEnders vibe
We're
about
all
her. I
right back
love
then.
Julie.
Tell old
Yeah,
white lie, don't matter.
yeah. Can't say out these days. Can't say out. I love her relationship with Jean as well. That's working really nicely.
Oh yeah, they made friends last week.
Yeah,
Yeah, brilliant. And it gives Jean someone to go to and have a friend outside of the Slater
yeah,
household. Obviously now
yeah.
Stacey's gone.
See, again,
Yeah,
I think they're really sort of sticking Julie in the ground to be here post
yeah, I
Nigel.
agree, Rob.
I
And do you
really
know
hope
what?
she
Yeah,
is.
I'm sold.
Yeah,
I'm
I love her.
sold.
I
Yeah.
love her. I think she's
I
fantastic.
just
Yeah, this wasn't the best week she'd
yeah.
ever had in terms of her
Yeah, but it's
motivations and actions, but
understandable.
that's
Yeah.
that's forgettable in a couple of weeks,
Mm,
right? It's
yeah.
yeah,
I agree, but I just don't like I say now, is it
yeah.
actually going to be that Julie's going to end up being the one who gets more punished than
I hope
Nigel?
not. I could do without that because actually what I'm
Mm,
really enjoying is sort of like the more grounded element to Julie as a character.
yeah.
Like sending her
I
to
agree.
prison
So,
for. I mean, she wouldn't get sent to prison for this, I don't think, because she wasn't the one driving the car. She was just trying to protect her
yeah, but
husband who
she
has
covered up a
dementia.
crime and lied to her husband with
Is it
dementia,
a
and
crime though? Because this is what I mean. Is it a crime in the eyes of the law for what Nigel did because he has dementia? Like, how much of a defense is dementia? Is basically
yeah,
what I'm asking.
yeah, what she's done in a way is
Let's
worse
cover
because
that up.
that if they go, well, he's got dementia, so we'd have been understanding, but you should have just
Yeah,
been honest. You're wasting police time. What is it? What they call it? Police
police time,
wasting police time. There's a phrase I can't blooming remember it for the
resources.
life of me now. But she would persecuting the courts of what is it?
Oh,
Persecuting the
obstructing
courts
the
of justice.
course of justice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. That's what she'll get done for, surely,
maybe.
because the
Yeah,
police are out there looking for a driver when actually she knew who it was. She was there. She's
yeah.
covered up. She's covered that up. So I think she would actually get into more trouble than maybe Nigel.
Yeah, maybe. I just hope that she kind of. I hope that it's kind of done quite quickly,
Yeah.
and that she can sort of.
But why? But
Because
why do
actually,
it though?
I worry that this would sort of put her career at stake as well, being in charge of
That's what I
kids.
thought this
Yeah, and I
week.
don't want that to happen because actually,
Yeah.
post Nigel, I really like her role within the kids of Walford's
Yeah.
life. I
Yeah.
thought she worked really well there. Like the stuff that she was doing with Joel
Mm.
worked really nicely. She looked completely in place
An
there.
appropriate adult for people,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, maybe, but then why do all of this anyway if
yeah. I
it's not going
know,
to lead to
I
that?
know.
Do you know, or lead to something
Why do
down the
anything
line,
in
maybe?
soapery? Why
Well,
do
that's
anything in
true,
soap?
Rob.
You know,
That's true. We'd be here all day, wouldn't we?
who would? So gold star this week, Ray. Oh,
You go first.
Jasmine. Jasmine, I think.
Jasmine, yeah.
I think
Okay. Do
so.
you know
Yeah,
what?
just because there's a level of intrigue about it that's really starting to build up now, and she's a good actress as well. So yeah,
Yeah, she is. Do you know what? I'm going to give it Nigel. I'm going to give
uh,
it Nigel this week. Yeah,
Jasmine and
definitely.
Nigel. There we go for
Yeah.
gold stars. Let us know who your gold stars are going to. So because we are recording this actually a day earlier than we normally would,
Oh, yeah.
we
Behind
haven't
the
actually got
scenes.
we
BTS
haven't
there for you.
yes, we haven't really got any big comments at the end of the week to read this week.
Hmm.
However, I do just want to have a little discussion. It was a big anniversary for one soap this week, Ree. It was Hollyoaks' 30th anniversary this week, and
Yes.
it wasn't just Hollyoaks that was celebrated this week, but also Brookside. Now, I don't expect you to have watched any of the Hollyoaks anniversary. I'm a big soap fan in general. What did you?
No.
No.
I used to
So
watch Hollyoaks
yeah, I know
very
you did.
regularly,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
no, I've not
I
watched
mean,
it.
I was a big. I love soap, right? So
Mhm.
these when these big anniversaries come around, I feel like as a soap
Yeah.
lover, I've got to watch these anniversaries. I've got to tune in and see what they're doing. You've got to support the soaps, right? And I thought the bringing back of Brookside was absolutely fantastic. My question to you
Go on.
is: would you bring back Brookie in terms of like bringing a new soap into the equation at this point?
No. I feel like it'd dilute all the other soaps now because they're already kind of struggling to gain the audiences that they once had. But then you're going to potentially, I don't know. I guess is the room for a new soap? I don't. I feel
Well,
like it'd be a bit too similar to Hollyoaks though these days as well.
actually,
No,
do
with
you know
the
what?
location and
Well, they're not. Well, Hollyoaks is Chester
yeah,
and
Chester.
Liverpool is
Yeah, but
Brookside.
it's not that far, and but yeah, go
No,
on.
but do you know what though? They're very different. They're very different shows in a lot of ways, and
Yeah,
yeah, it could dilute them, but then also could it inject a new sort of bit of
yeah. No,
life into it?
that
It's the
is
whole
one
point
way
of
of looking
Brookie.
at it.
the whole point of Brookie was the soap that did everything first. In fact, there's an interesting irony in that Brookside kind of went a bit ridiculous before all the other soaps did in order to keep its title of the soap that did everything
Yeah.
first. Like,
Yeah.
actually, a lot of the stuff that Brookside did back in the day wouldn't even get raise an eyebrow these days in
Yeah.
soaps, which is
Yeah.
quite interesting. Apart from maybe the incest storyline, which was a separate conversation of its own, an actual brother and sister. If you don't know what we're talking about, possibly if you don't live in the UK, Brookside was a soap that aired from 1982 to 2003.
3.
Yes, and Hollyoaks kind of brought it back because it was created by the same person. They sort of exist within the same universe. And at one point in Brookside's history, they did a storyline where a brother and sister, full kind of blooded brother and sister, knowingly had sort of a relationship with one another. And that was really controversial at the time. And funnily enough, hasn't been done since in soap.
Yeah.
But I wonder, like, you wouldn't necessarily do it sort of like a 3 night a week thing, but maybe in the sort of like sort of how Casualty and Holby City did, like once a week sort of thing.
Maybe, yeah, maybe that would be the way forward for it to not be on as regularly. Because again, if you like soaps, I feel like it's already quite hard to keep up with
Does it? I
soaps.
don't know if there's that many people that watch all of them though. I feel like people either watch one or two.
Well, I've been watching 3,
Mm,
but then I watch them all a bit differently anyway. Obviously, EastEnders is number
the
one
one,
priority, always as we always will
obviously.
be.
Yeah,
Stan. Um, but then like with Coronation Street, how many they? I think I'm still at the point because I'm so
mm.
behind where they're on
Yeah. The tram
6
crash has
episodes a
just
week.
happened in your horror experience at the minute.
I'm not that far behind. But then actually talking of which, the other soap that I watch is Neighbours,
Yeah, that's nearly
and
done.
well, this is it. So, which is really baffling me, by the way, because every time you go on Amazon, it's in like the top 10 for Amazon UK shows. I don't know why they're axing it. It's really annoyed me actually with Neighbours. But then is that for a reason, and is it because
Budget thing, I
people?
imagine.
Mm,
It was
yeah,
what you say. It
but
was in the top 10 of Amazon viewing. I don't know. The
yeah,
soaps are in an interesting place at the moment in terms of where they
yeah,
belong and
mm,
whether they have. I mean, obviously, they're nowhere near the big machines they used to be in,
yeah,
like the 90s and the noughties, where they were British
mm,
television. Um, and that was kind of when Brookside was at its peak as well, and Hollyoaks was at its peak back then as well.
mm,
I just think it's interesting that you could sort of bring back these elements of things. The problem with bringing Brookside back is that it was filmed on an actual close. Like Phil Redmond, the creator, bought that
like
close of
Neighbours.
houses. Yeah, bought that
Mm.
close of houses, and since the show finished 20 odd years ago, real people live in those houses
Well,
now, so
yeah,
they can't.
fair enough.
It's not
Yeah,
like they can just return to the set and start up
they
again.
could
Like,
recreate it though, maybe.
well, yeah, this is what I'm thinking. They could
Mm.
rebuild a
Yeah,
close set. I mean, we know
yeah.
from the cost of the EastEnders set that that is an expensive thing to do. So you'd need to have full commitment for it and think that it's going to work long term.
Exactly. You need to be very confident it's
Yeah.
going to work. Like you said, though, actually, maybe showing it less, like once a week, is the potential in it in that way.
Mm.
Or
And then
do you just go full hog and create an entirely
I
new
don't
soap and not do Brookside again?
I don't think you could do that now. I feel like the only
Mm,
thing that you could do now is maybe do something with something that people were already kind of connected to in some
familiar
way.
with, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you could get today's audience to start
Mm.
completely from scratch with a new soap opera now.
Bring back Family Affairs is what I say, Rob.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one? Channel
I do
5.
remember that. I do remember that. Yeah, yeah. Those soaps were everywhere in the noughties, weren't they? And Family Affairs was one
Yeah.
of them. I just thought it
What
was
did they do?
interesting.
Didn't they blow them all up on a boat or something like the
Yeah, that.
entire cast?
Yeah,
That's how
like
they ended Family
I
Affairs. Is that
think
right?
I think that they were after a big ratings grabber because it was starting to already sink in the ratings. So they
Mm,
put their main family. This would be like putting the Beals or something in
yeah.
the boat in a canal boat and then blew it up and killed the whole family.
Yeah.
To
Hmm.
sort of
Yeah.
refresh and make a big shocking event happen, and then that was just sort of the beginning of
And
the
then
end
just
for it.
ended.
I think, yeah,
Yeah.
like, we won't bother then. But yeah, happy birthday, Hollyoaks! It was I watched the full week. It was a crazy old week because
I'm
it's
gonna give it a
Hollyoaks. Of course it
watch.
is.
I'll
I
give
mean,
it a
it's
watch actually.
mental. I warn you now. There is a big
But
old
it's
stunt.
Hollyoaks. You expect it
Yeah,
in
you expect
Hollyoaks. All
it.
right. Yeah.
Bless it. I think it did what as good as they could do. I think Channel 4 could have been a bit kinder with its scheduling and given them maybe another episode to play with. It was 3 episodes for 20 minutes. And
Oh,
actually, it could have done with another episode because they tried to fit a lot in
a lot.
to
Yeah.
not a huge amount of time. Basically,
Mm,
they had an hour's worth of television to play with throughout the entire week. And what they tried to do was
yeah.
maybe a little bit ambitious for the time that they had. You know, big old stunt where they threw a plane on top of the village and all of this kind of great mad stuff. And then bringing in Brookside as well. Then they did a Hollyoaks later You know, remember those back for
Yeah,
they
I
did
do
one of them
remember those.
that had lots of swearing in and all sorts of
Yeah.
like really shocking material. That was on
Is it
last night as
Hollyoaks
well.
later? I
Yeah,
used to love
yeah.
Hollyoaks later. I was
Oh, you
far
got
too
another one
young
of
to be
them.
watching them as well.
Oh, tell you what, this one was no picnic. Let me tell you. So yeah, give that a watch. But yeah, happy birthday, Hollyoaks.
Happy
30
birthday,
years,
Hollyoaks.
10
Wow.
years younger than EastEnders.
And nearly the same age as you, eh, Rob?
Absolutely. Me and Hollyoaks were born on the same day. So we will be doing this sort of early record same time next week, I believe. So if you could get your comments for next week's episodes coming in nice and early as soon as you can, especially on the Thursday episode before we record, that would be great. And you can do that by doing the following.
You can find us on Facebook at Albert Square After Dark, on Twitter and Instagram at E20 After Dark. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can listen to us on Apple and wherever you find your podcasts. Drop us an email at e20afterdarkpodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to buy us a coffee, you can do so by going on buymeacoffee.com/E20 After Dark.
Yay, we're back.
We're
Marvelous. Thank you.
back.
We're back. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. We should be back at the same time next week. I may be in a different location next week because I'm going to London for my birthday.
Ooh, on
Yes.
location. We love
I'm
it.
going to a Michelin-starred Italian restaurant next week, I'll have you know.
Ooh, find out the name for me. I want
I
to. I
will.
want to have a nosy.
I'm excited. I can send you the menu, so I'm very excited about that. So I
Yes.
may well be recording from a London hotel next week. So if you're watching on YouTube, that'll be a visual treat for you. But until then, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
See you next week. Goodbye.